Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is a place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better.
We are here.
Thank you. To help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is the day that we talk tech. It's Tech Life Weekly. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we'll be joined by our other contributors shortly. But in the meantime, we always like to get started with this day in tech and future tech. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Miss Francine Gregory. Fran, what you got for us today?
Well, I recorded mine, so and we
Great.
can talk about each of the little stories that are within there. So we have some tech this week in tech history, and then this week tech that's making history. So
Okay.
without further ado, here we go. This week in tech history marks several key moments. September 3rd, 1995. The online auction site eBay was founded, initially called Auction Web. Its first auction was for a broken laser pointer, which sold for $14.83. September 1st, 2008. Google Chrome was accidentally released in beta, surprising many since the project had been kept secret. September 2nd, 1997. IBM announced improvements to its chess-playing supercomputer, RS-6000 SP, making it 58% faster after its Deep Blue version defeated Garry Kasparov earlier that year. Now for some tech that is making history, China's chip-making push. China made headlines by purchasing more chip manufacturing tools in the first half of 2024 than the US, Taiwan, and South Korea combined. This massive investment signals China's intent to become more self-sufficient in semiconductor technology, a critical move given the geopolitical tensions and sanctions. The shift could potentially disrupt global tech markets as China aims to build its own high-tech infrastructure and lessen reliance on Western tech. Apple's upcoming releases. On the consumer tech front, Apple is generating buzz ahead of its next product releases. Updates to operating systems such as iOS 18 and macOS Sequoia bring advanced AI features, improved app functionality, and integration across devices. Apple's focus on AI and user interface improvements, including the highly anticipated Vision Pro, marks a significant evolution in its ecosystem. Flexible nano generators. Researchers developed a flexible nano generator that could rival solar panels, potentially harvesting energy from daily activities like walking. Wearable pee predictors. A South Korean company has created a wearable device that predicts when users need to urinate, aimed at helping people with neurological conditions. Solar-powered tiny EVs. Squad Mobility is working on a small solar-powered electric vehicle, perfect for short city commutes, making it a green and affordable alternative for urban transportation. And that is your week in tech history and tech-making history. See you next time.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I got a couple of things. The wearable that lets people know when they need to go.
Okay.
Uh, because a lot of people have neurological issues
Ah,
that,
insensitivity, huh?
yeah, insensitivity, whatever. I was like, oh, that would be a good, oh, he likes them earrings. He's like, let me have that. Shiny.
Yeah, anything that I don't have, basically. Go ahead.
Like he's like, oh, if it's shiny, I want it. Um, so the neurological, I can see how that would help somebody who may be incontinent, doesn't when their bladder is not functioning the way that it should. I recently learned about when people's gallbladders are removed, they don't sometimes have control over their bowels or what have you. And I did not know that. I
I
was
did
like,
not know that either.
I'm like, you people better tell somebody because for whatever reason, whatever that connection is, something is lost when the
Mm,
gallbladder is removed. Thus, the reason why I don't think we need to be removing parts just willy nilly.
randomly, yes.
It's like, oh, you don't need that. Like for a long time, people didn't think they needed a spleen,
Mm,
but it's
really?
in there. Why are we? Well, we'll just take that out, or we'll just take the tonsils out. Okay, why? If it was part of the body, apparently it's necessary,
It has some function.
some function. So, um, pretty much tech history is happening. Let's see, what was the other story? Okay, so China is turning up their chip making.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense
Right,
because
because
Taiwan, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And also, we're bringing our chips domestic because of, the vulnerability of Taiwan. We're
Yes, and
very
so
dependent on
yeah,
them.
Apple has gone full on making my own stuff,
Hmm.
and Intel still makes their own chips. And it's interesting that a chip is just some sand.
Hmm.
Just somebody figured out how to monetize sand.
Wow. I had no idea that that's all it was.
Yeah, sand. I was like, really? Okay.
All these
Um,
clean and everything else. Yeah.
yeah. I had no idea that eBay was founded in September 3rd, 1995. And I still don't like eBay, but well, whatever.
I
Um,
could never figure out eBay. It was very cluttered to me and
it,
convoluted. I
and
just
clunky, and
I just
you
couldn't
had
do
to
it.
weigh stuff and measure boxes. And I was like,
Oh
I
yeah, it was a mess.
was like, no, I'm good. But some people um, really enjoyed that.
Hmm.
So now the tech that is for the rest of us, Apple has put out this week or this month in September is iOS 18, which
18? Oh wow.
iOS 18, not the phone, just the operating system
Oh,
is
okay.
iOS 18, which
Yes.
makes your phone do some other things. It will, with Apple Intelligence, Siri becomes a little smarter.
Oh.
Right. So it will be able to utilize um, uh, it. Apple has partnered up with Chat GPT so that if you want to ask it something, you can do it right within your phone and not have to go out to Chat GPT.
Oh,
It will
nice.
process it from within your phone,
Okay.
and which means Siri could pull from that. You know how we ask questions, well, what's the best day to run a workshop or whatever?
Mhm.
You can do that within your search,
Yes.
and it'll pull from Chat GPT's uh,
Database.
information base, right? Which makes the that's why last week we talked about how they were joining up and they were buying or investing into uh, Chat GPT or
Mm.
investing into um, what's the parent
Artificial
company?
intelligence companies.
No, into one specifically. What is it called? Oh my gosh.
AI?
No, no, no. Chat GPT's Open AI. Open AI is the right now the leader.
Mm-hmm.
There are several other AI companies you can go to, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini. There are several different
Copilot.
people.
Hmm.
Copilot. Copilot is technically open AI. It's just running under Microsoft. So,
Yes.
so you're still getting Chat GPT. It's just within Microsoft, and now Apple will have it within their device, right?
Okay.
Updates to the operating system bring advanced AI features, improve app functionality, and integration across devices. So Apple has always um, strived to make all of your devices kind of work together with
Mm.
one another. And
Mm-hmm.
now, like I do the beta testing on some stuff, so I can open my computer and still have um, my phone up on my computer where I
Oh,
can see the phone, and I
uh-huh.
don't have to pick up my phone to do things. I can just do it off my laptop,
Oh,
and the
wow.
phone can be somewhere else because it's connected. I was like, "Oh, this is fun."
Okay.
Um, right. Apple's focus on AI and user interface improvements, including the highly anticipated Vision Pro, marks a significant evolution in its ecosystem. And there are a lot of people who don't want, they're like, Apple is, uh, it should be, Apple should make its stuff available to all phone providers or
Uh-huh.
whatever. And I was like, no, no, those of us who have it want our stuff to be,
I
you
want
know,
it to be secure.
right.
I don't
And
want
if
it
you,
open
you
to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's not privacy conscious. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
And so that's what people were, complaining about. Well, iPhone should be, I should be able to run whatever I want. No, we
Mhm.
don't. No, 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 no. We want to keep security
Mhm.
high. That means you can't let everybody in the house.
Correct. I love it. That's a good way to put it.
And
Mhm.
and so somebody was trying to sue, saying that they needed to make it open. No, we Apple has never been open like that.
Mhm. Do
So
they want it open or they just want to be able to interact and keep their Android phone, but they want access to Apple's stuff? I don't know how
mhm.
else to put it. You know what I mean?
And why you
You
okay.
chose that.
And we're not trying to get all up over in Android world. At least I'm not. There's some functionalities that Android has. Um, like they say, well, Apple Watch only works with Apple. And what is the point? Well, I want an Apple Watch, but I want to be able to use it on my Android phone.
Interesting.
I'm okay. Android watches do not work on Apple phones. Okay, so
And vice
what is
versa.
the problem here?
And that's all about patent law too. Come on, people.
So I don't understand why there's an issue if you want an Apple Watch and you want to. Well, my Apple Watch doesn't work unless it's the features for the Apple Watch, like it works with Apple Fit, it works with
Mm.
Apple whatever. I do believe you can use any kind of earphones or earbuds
Yes, you can.
if you want.
You can.
But okay, they
You can
created
because I buy inexpensive earphones for my grandchildren because they lose them all the time. So
right.
it's like I'm not replacing that. Just you
Not
know,
the $300 models. I'm not trying to do 300
mm,
earbuds, just
and
AirPods.
they can hear just as well right now for what they're doing.
Right. They're not looking for the ambiance of the woofers and the blah 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 blah. No,
Exactly.
we're not doing. We're okay. So most people don't need all of that, um,
Hmm.
and it's okay. They call Apple the walled garden for a reason. and it's not like they're keeping people out, but what's made to work with Apple works with Apple. What's made to work with Android works with Android, and we're all very happy. There, the people who are trying to have the government or the Department of Justice sue for whatever is a little weird. I was like,
Mhm.
we don't
Okay,
want.
so wait a minute. Who's trying to sue some Apple or
Okay, because some people are saying Apple's iPhone is what is it called? Um, Monopoly.
uh-huh.
But there are more Android users than there are Apple users.
Yeah,
So I'm
okay,
like,
but see the monopoly thing they don't understand. It's one. Like this, you can get any phone you like. Nobody's making you buy an Apple phone. So if you think about the word monopoly, you have to use it in the terms of AT&T. Remember Ma Bell, and it was one
mhm,
thing, and you could not get
there
telephone
was no
land.
choice. There was
Right,
no choice.
right. There was one landline, one phone, AT&T Ma Bell, they called it, and it was little baby bells in each state. That was a monopoly because there wasn't a choice. It's the same thing with your internet provider. If there's no choice, that's a monopoly. But with Apple, there is a choice. What these people are upset about is that everybody likes Apple products because, like you said, they work, but they're expensive. What
And
would you like Apple to do? To give cheap products? They tried that, didn't work.
mm-mm. And
So
what was happening is people were complaining, well, I can't use my Apple Watch with anything but an Apple phone.
what?
They wanted to be able to use their Apple Watch to
But
with other stuff.
doesn't
I was
isn't
like,
aren't they Android watches? There's
yeah,
Android watches.
yes, but it all apparently the Android watches don't do some stuff that the Apple Watch does.
Oh,
And
so
if you want the functionalities of this,
it's
then you
not a
got to.
monopoly. It's symbiotic. They work together. There's another word, but symbiotic is coming to me. They work together as a
Right.
team.
Yep.
I don't get this. I don't
Well,
get the hate against Apple. I mean, I get it, but I don't. Because I'm like, I want to buy a Prada bag. I want to buy a Hermes bag. They're like thousands of dollars. Guess what? I don't have the money. I'm not going around mad at the people who do have the bag. I'm not
if you
mad at
want
them.
one, go
Good.
get you one.
Let
Save
me
up.
get my money up so I can get on. And you got to get on a wait list to get one anyway. So I don't understand it. I don't. I really don't.
Right. So I don't think anything has become of it. I haven't seen anything else in the news. It was just that it sounded to me very ridiculous. And that's because, and we're talking about this because Apple is about to release the
Hmm.
iOS 18
Yeah, they're having
and
the
it's
event on
the
ninth.
9th.
Okay.
It was going to be on the 10th, but
Right.
the debate is happening
On
on the
the
10th.
so they
So
moved it.
Apple had to move their event to the 9th because Apple doesn't normally do an event on a Monday. They normally would have done it on Tuesday.
What I would like to ask these people, with the town that the city that you live in, there's rich people, right? They have mansions. They have 20, 50 room mansions. Do you get mad with them because they have large homes that cost 10 million, 30 million? Here in New York, there's apartments that go for 100, 200 million. I'm not mad at those people. Let them have it. That's their money. But for some reason, it's the Apple crew, the this and the that they want to fight it and call it a monopoly when it's not. It's an ecosystem. It's not a monopoly. See, so
And they are thinking that ecosystem should be open to all. And I told told Terry Lena, I was like, you just don't have everybody else coming up to the house, coming in the house. That is
see,
not what
that's
they're
why there are
doing.
laws about monopoly. A monopoly is there is no choice. With smartphones, there's a myriad of choices. You may not like it because it's based on cost, because America is built on capitalism, means that a business must, well, not must, but they put profits ahead of everything, which the good corporations will try to balance it.
Right.
But There's no rules to tell Apple, well, you can't make this so expensive.
Or
Apple,
you cannot, or you have to make your software open to everybody. No,
no,
we
I
don't
don't.
want those of us who have the product do not want you to open
There's
it
a
up to
proprietary.
everybody.
There are proprietary laws, proprietary systems. That means I made this. This is mine. I don't want to open it up because X, Y, Z, blah blah blah. There are laws for that too, but that's still not a monopoly.
Mm-mm.
The government has lines for monopoly. It's very clear. The example I gave you was the AT&T. Where they were the only ones when you moved into a home and you needed a telephone system. It was them. It wasn't any other choice.
And then
They
there
broke them up.
and then because of that, the long distance rates were high. Everything was
Yes.
extremely high. You couldn't
Yeah.
in the phone calls. I remember people having $1,000 long distance phone bills. And
Yep.
then when
Mhm.
cell phones came on the scene, all of a sudden all that went away.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
people were paying
Well,
for
those
dial.
minutes were not cheap, but go ahead.
No, minutes weren't cheap, but then they got it at some point they did away with having to pay for minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He said unlimited data and
But
unlimited
why? Because
That's because of competition.
yes, I was just gonna say the market demanded that. The market, people saying, I'm sick and tired. I'm not paying the what was that? The movie is a network that was sick and tired and threw the TV down because the consumers got angry. So that's the only time a company wakes up and goes, "Oh, wait a minute! The people that give us money to buy things are mad. Let's try to fix what they're mad about." But
and
if
had
you don't do that, they're not going to do anything.
so did you notice that when okay, so all these cell phone companies, Verizon was the only one that stuck it out the longest, where they were
Hmm.
charging you minutes and charging you
Yes,
data.
yes.
And they stuck with that for as long as they could. But uh, T-Mobile and Sprint and some other
Mhm.
people came out.
And the consumers got used to the unlimited all you can eat plan and went to Verizon and was
I
like,
love it.
why can't we have an all you can eat buffet?
Mhm.
And Verizon was trying to hold out, oh, because our phone quality is so much better.
And then guess
And
what? I went over to the all you can eat place.
Can you hear me now?
It's
uh,
crazy. It's
it
really
was very
crazy.
crazy.
It was
But
crazy.
finally they came over.
Mhm.
It was
Did you see
crazy.
Mark's comment?
Mark is funny.
Hey Mark.
Mark said, I'm mad at you three ladies for being fabulous. Outraged.
Oh,
Stop it. Thank you,
Thank
Mark.
you. It's a
thank you.
monopoly, Mark.
It's a monopoly. Yeah, we're gonna
So,
rant over here. I mean, but
right.
it just has to be said. I'm really sorry if there are people like they're mad and they can't get the Apple products because they're expensive. I'm mad. I'm looking at the new iMac product prices today. I'm mad, but
But we're making plans. See, I'm
yes,
like, what can I? Because I can sell this iMac right here, and then put that money with this, and go. You'll
and then
figure out
can
a way.
trade in,
You
and you can
yeah.
trade in your old stuff. That's gonna reduce the price. But what I'm saying is, I went to the cart and put everything in. And I was like, wait a minute, what? But that's your sign that, hey, either it gets delayed or you say, well, I need one today. Let me go someplace else. You're not happy with going someplace else, but you have a decision to make.
Mhm.
Right.
Same thing
And
with buying cars. I really want that top of the line Rolls Royce, but the pocketbook is saying something else. The pocketbook is saying Prius or something else, and then, well, you got to go with your pocketbook.
Mhm.
So why?
right. So, anywho, Apple's got their new iOS coming out, and here's the tip: it doesn't mean just because the new iOS 18 came out that you have to buy a new phone. It just means that the phone software is going to work. Probably, I don't know if it's going to go back as far as 10,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll work
Right.
on the
Mm-hmm.
newest, the later models of the phone. So you don't have to buy a new phone. You don't have to go to the 16 if it's coming out. I I don't even know if they're coming out with a 16 because they haven't said anything. Everybody's been talking about the iPhone 16, and I'm like, they just came out with 15 last year. So I don't know. But that doesn't mean you have to buy one. They
Nope.
are updating the Mac Sequoia, and if you are running M1, iOS 18 and Mac Sequoia, if you're running M1 on your computer,
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to upgrade to Mac OS Sequoia,
Okay.
which is bringing some really, the AI features are coming. Apple Intelligent features are coming, which is Terralina and I just talk about that they're incorporating Open AI's Chat GPT
Yeah,
within
I can't wait to see
Siri.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So your functionality, so Siri will now function with the Chat GPT perks,
Mm-hmm.
if you will. I'm like, oh, that was smart. On device, meaning that it doesn't go out of your device. Some okay,
Right.
I'm gonna change that.
So
Some
that a
of the
monopoly, people? Does it go
No,
outside of the device?
it's a one-stop shop. That's what it
So
is.
Apple, you know, Apple is all about privacy and security. So right now, if you want, when you talk to Siri or ask it some stuff, it stays on your device.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go out to a cloud and bring stuff in. It stays within your device. And that's what they're trying to do with the uh, bringing in Apple Intelligence, keep everything on the device because it's more secure that way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
they may have with the Chat GPT portion of it, they have to do something where they have to access it, but they encrypt it or do something to it so that it still maintains the privacy and security that Apple is known for. They just not
Okay.
letting anybody in the house.
Right.
Because right now, when you go to Chat GPT or you go someplace, you have to go outside to go to the cloud to do what you
Mm-hmm.
need to do and then
I
bring
don't
it
want to
back.
go out on the porch no more. Thank you, Apple.
So this is fun. I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And then when you get it, some of the things that they've done with iOS 18, you can take your, like if you have an iPad, you can go into notes and go 1 + 1 = and then ask it to calculate, and it does the math just from you writing.
Wow.
I like
So
that.
right. So the calculator now, I was like, say what? So you open your thing and you just, like for me, when I have to do calculations on what's the percentage of the square footage, blah, blah, I can do all of that and write it in my iPad and ask it to uh, calculate or whatever, and it does
Mm-hmm.
it and gives you the answer. I was like, oh, this is so much better. You don't even have to push buttons on a calculator.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was like, yes. So I'm sure everywhere on YouTube people can show you how to do it, but the calculator is now on iPad in a big way. You can do notes on your notes. You know how on Notability and some other things,
Yeah.
Apple is good for this. They will watch people do stuff like Notability, where you can draw and you can do stuff and you can record your notes,
Mm-hmm.
take
Dictate.
record the classroom or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Apple is good for watching everybody do it and then go do it themselves and put it in their own stuff.
I like it. I
And
like
that's what they did with notes.
it.
Notes
Mm-hmm.
just got real good. You,
Oh, good.
yeah, you can record audio within notes.
Mm-hmm.
You can record audio notes. You can paste. You can bring pictures in. You can write on the notes. You can Did you know that you can, if you see something like people at church do this all the time, most people will snap a picture to get whatever was on the screen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can go to notes or anything on, you can go to the camera and just tap it and scan the text and have it brought into the note without you taking the picture.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
I like that.
I was like, ooh, they got all the little tricks and stuff up in here. Nobody talks about them too much, but it makes doing whatever it is that you're doing a lot easier.
Mhm.
So that's all I have for tech making history and tech history this week.
All right. Okie dokie Pinoki. I have a short um little video I want to share with you. Last week
Okay,
we
wait a
talked.
minute.
Mm-hmm.
Mark has some comments. He
Oh,
said,
Okay.
I'm mad at Apple. Can't hear callers on my iPhone 12 Pro without earbuds. It was a
really?
recall issue on this model, but not for me.
I haven't had
Okay.
that problem. I have a 12 mark. Huh. Okay.
And he said, cost to repair just under trade in value. They will not cover it.
Right. Because
Mm.
of the old, because it's an older, because of the hardware being an
The
older
technology not
version.
being
Yeah.
current. Okay.
Yeah, I did not know there was a recall with
I
that.
didn't either.
And I
Well,
hadn't had.
just real quick on why, because I always hear people say, well, like the new iOS is coming out, but they have a cutoff of the device that can use it. There's a
Mhm.
reason why, because Apple has to have a team of developers for version each
Mm.
version of the iOS software, and then the hardware. They have a group of people that work on it, and that's their specific thing. They don't have a division that works on all the phones. Like this group A works on this, group B work. So those are people that have to pay.
Mm.
So Apple decides, I don't know how to decide, but they decide, well, this phone is the cutoff because it's too labor intensive for us to keep a team dedicated to something that's what's it, like an iPhone 6. Like they're not keeping that, because
No.
that's way back when. That's like down the line of the
Mm.
SKUs or the phones that they have. So that's a reason why. That's one of the reasons why. Because of course they have to pay these developers to one work on old device or old technology, and they have to pay them, and they're constantly evolving and working on the next thing. So I think a lot of people don't understand that there's a cost, labor intensive part of this for Apple as to why they don't keep all their phones. Like they don't have a
Mhm.
group of developers for the first iPhone
Mhm.
No.
to work, to have these people work. Well, the new iOS 18 is out. Well, get it to work on iPhone 1.
It
That's
will
They
not.
can't do it. It's too
And it
they
only
can't yeah, they can't do that. So there's a cutoff.
and the cutoff appears to be iPhone SE third generation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so nothing
What was
below the
that?
third generation SE. And on Apple's site, it says 14 is the lowest.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
Cause
And
see,
I
they
was
have
like,
to pay
"Ooh,
a group to the 13, the 10, they have to pay these developers and these engineers and whoever. Then they have to have what is it? Where they do the evaluation of the device working, and then the batteries are so old, so they're going to catch fire. Some phone caught fire or something because of the
wasn't
battery.
it a Samsung something or other a few
Right. I
years
don't
back?"
remember what it was, but what I'm saying is like that's why they go, well, this is an old technology. We're not going to support it because XYZ. The batteries, the this, the that. This is because technology is always changing. The internal parts are always being reimagined. That's why Nvidia is such a big stock now, because they're constantly working on the next thing. And then like with Apple, they used to have the Intel chips, but then they decided to make their own chip because it was more cost effective. And then they didn't have to rely on Intel to keep up with them. See,
Correct.
so and Apple
The,
has the
yeah.
cash to do that. They have the cash, not loans, not going to borrow, and not Cash. They just got money sitting around like Harry Potter in the bank. Just bank. Just they got to do something with it. So that's a part of it. Why people don't understand. Well, why don't they support the iPhone 10? Like, no, you
No, they're
can't.
not gonna. They're not. The 10 is not being supported.
Right. So
I
they
was
have
like,
to have people
wow.
that dedicated to each iteration of the phone. And remember, they got iPads and all that. So they have a lot of employees that work on one thing. So
And you want people to, what is the word, focus on one thing, because if you focus on four, five, six
mhm.
different things,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah, they don't have an iPhone crew. They work on all the iPhones. No, they have one for this and that, and they have special teams and they do this and that because, like Fran said, the focus is on the one thing versus every phone that they offer or every computer that they offer. It's not cost effective, nor is it innovative or satisfy the consumer. So there's a lot of stuff inner working at Apple. So,
and a
but
lot of people, you explained this before, TJ, that's why there's a fewer issues with software and stuff,
yes,
because they're not
yes.
trying to make software for a bunch of
Right.
different.
So see, on the other hand, is Apple ecosystem, one thing, one team, one accord. We work on Apple devices. Microsoft is a whole nother ball of wax. They remember Windows. They have to make Windows work on every kind of PC manufactured. How many are PC manufacturers out there? A lot. There used to be much more, but it was Hewlett Packard, Dell, Lenovo. Take your pick. There's always some company coming out in whatever foreign country that make the Windows machines, and then Microsoft has to have a team or they have to have somebody to go test this and see how. That's why there's so many bugs with the Windows system, because Windows is not a ecosystem. It's just a software. It's just the operating system that works on a PC. And who makes the PC? 1,000 people. Who makes the Apple computers? Apple. They make one device. So that's why. That's why. And when I was doing support for IT, it was like there was so many things that I had to remember about Windows. It was in here, and we had a knowledge base. And then when I switched to Apple, I was like, "Oh, I don't have to remember to do this and that." And I don't remember. I don't need 10 steps or why this doesn't work. And when you click the blue screen together and you got to do control alt delete, I don't have any of that stuff in my head anymore. It's wonderful. It's great. But that's why. That's why.
Right. Mark's uh, continuing
Oh.
comment. He said, even though it has nothing to do with misuse, abuse, or the user talking about his issue with the phone, our
Mhm.
relationship is now complicated. I was at the Apple store yesterday, so I'm still hurting. Laugh out
Right.
loud.
And see a lot of things it's like your car when you buy a brand new car, it's great at the beginning, but then it starts to be obsolete and stuff about the internal workings, and now the computers are in the cars. When if you buy a car from the 80s, it's not a lot of computer parts, it's more mechanical. So that's
Hmm.
what it is. It's like we are evolving with technology.
And Mark,
And
I was going to say this, Mark. I recently, because I wanted to upgrade something, and so they gave me how much money for my 12 Pro?
mhm.
About 400 or 500 bucks.
Yes, and I stand corrected, Mark. I have a 13. I'm sorry. So
Yeah,
I
so
missed it.
I had a 12 Pro. I turned it in. They gave me a credit for that, because it was in pristine condition and whatever. Turn it in. Get some money and go buy what you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Now their trade-in program for, like, I have a 2021 iMac. I don't understand how they're going to try, and it's got an M1 chip. but
Right.
they want to give me 300 and something dollars for it. I was like, nope, I shall keep it. It does not make sense. And
Right.
it's practically, I mean, as far as the use of it is like brand new. Uh, if I took all my stuff off of it, it would be pristine, brand new. And then refurbished, you would probably pay 12, 1100, 900 for it.
Right.
It's like, you guys could give me 900 for that. But they wanted to give me 340 something dollars. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm sorry. So their trade-in sometimes doesn't work, but they were the trade-in on my phone was more money. I don't understand that, but fine, give me that.
We don't
Because
know why.
I don't either. I got a 14 Pro, and I don't know if I'm going to upgrade to 16 or not. My 14 is working pretty good here.
Right. See, that's the key. If it's working for you and you don't really need because each phone is like, okay, the everything that's inside the phone works a little faster, a little better, a little smarter. Sometimes it's incremental. It's not a great big jump, but some people want that gain in fastness or improvement or whatever. And other people, like, hey, I look at the cost of it versus my phone is working. I think I'm going to wait. And that's
Mhm.
okay, is what I'm saying. It's
Right.
okay to not have the new phone.
It is. And the only difference between the 14 and the 15, because people are talking about 16, 15 just came out.
Yeah,
Was it at the beginning of the year?
I think so.
Right. Well, the 15, the only thing that is different is it takes a USB-C,
Mm-hmm.
which is very convenient instead of the lightning pin.
Right.
This instead of this. Oh, you can't see it. This one. Okay, it's not in front of the. Oh, there it is. Okay, the lightning pin, I'd rather have the USB-C because then I can plug into anything. But do I want to pay the extra for the 15 just to plug in with the USB-C? I don't know. There's decisions to be made.
Right. The decisions, you have to decide what's more important. The money in your pocket or you on a faster phone, which is incrementally faster, not gigantic gaps in speed.
And the battery life is a little longer too. I
Mm-hmm,
know
mm-hmm,
exactly what
mm-hmm.
time of day my phone battery is going to go down
Right.
and when I need to plug up.
Right. So these are
It's
all
like,
things you have to consider
right?
individually.
Yes. But anyway,
Right. It's okay to
um,
not, you want the new phone. It's okay. Well, I can't do it today. Let me look at my wallet. Yes, that's fine. That's what everybody does.
yeah, let's do it later. Mark says selling kidney for a new phone, bone marrow for a new Mac. That's Mark. Okay,
All righty.
Terry Lena, go ahead. I'm finished with.
All righty then. I just have one short story that I want to share with you guys. We try to talk about, students. I think last week, did we talk about cell phones and how they were not allowing cell phones in the classroom
I
last
think
week?
we mentioned
I think we, I
something.
think,
Oh,
I
well, maybe
think,
it was I gone. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, and I think we were talking about the kids putting them in the pouches and things like that. And so I was wondering whether or not, things are going to change because we recently had a situation in Georgia, and but one of the things I
Mhm.
did see was that they gave teachers a lanyard that had a panic button on it. The
Okay.
panic button would tell them exactly where the shooter was. So I think that those things are going to be helpful. But I
Right.
digress.
And just real quick on that one,
Mhm,
because I've read a little bit on the story. I haven't kept up with the latest. That
mhm,
it seems that like a lot of lives were saved because the door is locked. I heard one of the students
mm.
say that the doors lock once you're in a class and you leave
Oh,
because
the
the
individual doors locked.
14-year-old child person left the room. to go to the rest, whatever it was, and wanted to come back in. So I was like, okay, the doors locked. You can't, once you leave. I don't know how they do it, but when I was a
It
kid, you
locks
walked
probably
in and
from the
out.
inside. You can open it
Right,
out,
from the
but you can't
outside,
come in.
right. So one of the students wanted to go and open the door, but paused because of the window and
Thank
saw
you.
whatever this person saw, and then decided not to. So, but what happened to the other students that passed, unfortunately, was that I don't think that the door was cracked. I think yes.
Probably for ventilation.
Right. I think that's how that person got into that classroom. Because the doors, like you said, the doors locked from the outside. But I think I read that this other classroom, because they talked to the student. So the student was saying that the kid stuck half his body in through the crack and pushed the gun through the crack and just
What?
Yeah, that's what one of the students said. Again, this is investigation still going on. So it's just a simple thing like a locked door. And this one classroom, they cracked the door for
whatever reason.
Air. I don't know why, but that's what happened. So
I'll be right back and crack the door open.
So I mean, but they were in the class. The student was saying they were in the class doing their work, and I don't know whether he or she, I'm trying to remember, and they just happened to see out the corner of their eye him sticking his upper body through the crack. Like the door wasn't open, but it wasn't closed either. So a closed door would
have helped
the thing. Yes, because so it's just interesting because I'm reading this going, you always try to figure out what happened or how to prevent it, but a locked door, according to the students. So
wow. So I digress. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share this with you, this little video from Facebook about this student and his delve into nuclear fusion.
Okay.
Okay. You ready? Let's see. Okay. All right. Let me see how that looks on screen. Let me bring it down a little. Let me know when it looks good. The mic is open, so here we
This teenager built a fusion reactor at school. Last June 2023, 17-year-old Cesare Mencarini's small nuclear fusion reactor achieved plasma. It's reportedly the only nuclear reactor built in a school environment. Mencarini, who hails from Italy, studied maths, chemistry, and physics at Cardiff Sixth Form College. It wasn't easy for him to convince his teachers to approve the project. The faculty members even thought that it could be dangerous and pose a significant threat. The college was initially concerned that this project, which I have also used for my EPQ, was dangerous. However, we did full risk assessments and the staff have been so supportive, said Mencarini. The project itself took him 18 months of hard work to finish and a limited budget of just £8,000. He used a Leybold Trivac E2 roughing pump to achieve a minimum pressure of 8E3 within the reactor. He then used the fuser in his school by connecting it to his reactor's grid through a 30 kilovolt rated high voltage feed-through. The high voltage feed-through was connected to a 5 kilovolts Unilab power supply, allowing him to use the school fuser's limited output of 2 milliamps. This is how his small nuclear fusion reactor successfully achieved plasma. After such an amazing project, Cesare aims to apply for a degree in engineering. He also aims to work at the University of Bristol's Interface and Analysis Center. Dr. Julian Davies, the Cardiff Sixth Form College's principal, applauded Cesare's hard work and success. Mencarini has been outstanding in his work ethic and will no doubt make a significant impact on the energy industry in the future.
I was like, what? And why are they giving instructions on Facebook about how he did it? I was like, okay. So what do you think of that, ladies? University students in there building their own nuclear reactors on a mini level.
Okay, isn't that the
What do you do with
nuclear reactors aren't those the same one at 3 Mile Island and some other places?
Yes,
Like,
and I didn't
okay.
live that far from 3 Mile Island, so I'm a
Oh my
little
goodness.
paranoid. Okay,
That's wild.
it's outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which is the capital, and it was not cute. People tried to get out of the capital when that nuclear reaction actor was compromised.
Wow.
I'm just saying. So here you are. You have
Just
this
saying.
kid. He's in college. We're funding his ability to do this. Well, we're not, but Italy, because he's in Italy at the university. And now nuclear power can be a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it can power cities. It's fairly clean, but nevertheless, I just didn't think we needed instructions over there on the internet. Although maybe they're somewhere in the Library of Congress, you can get the information anywhere.
Well, the
But,
information to do things like build bombs, it's all online, but it's like it's the putting together of like like this. It's like who wants to do that, and then it's
Apparently
complicated, and
this,
then it doesn't.
who
They
has the
don't do it
expertise?
right.
okay, here's the thing.
Hmm.
Most of the time, people get a psychological profile review before we start dabbling in stuff. I'm just saying because uh,
I would
Ted
hope.
Kaczynski. Wait a minute, Ted Kaczynski was smart like that too.
Yeah,
You
very
understand what I
smart.
mean? There were smart people. I'm like, okay, just because you're smart, don't mean you're ethical.
Right.
That's the deal.
Yeah, I
Okay,
agree with
so
that.
I just thought I'd let you know that there's a 17-year-old kid over in Italy built the nuclear reactors that fit in his dorm room. Okay.
Oh
And then look,
no.
and let's take a look at this too. Are you mature enough to not, well, I'm just mad. A 14-year-old is getting mad and doing stuff.
Okay, here's my thing. Is the university security high enough to
To
retain this?
handle
I
if
mean,
something goes wrong,
he's ethical. Yeah,
But how would they know what's going? This was in the dorm room, or
it's in the lab.
oh, in the lab.
It's
Okay,
on
so
the
that they would have to know because I'm thinking like if kids are doing whatever in their room,
no, no.
but he's in the lab.
I'm just saying, it's on campus. Okay.
and and
But yes,
sometimes the teachers don't know as
Right.
much as the student. I'm
That's what I
hey,
just
mean.
you know what we're talking about when we talk about campus security. You can barely get an escort to your dorm after 12. What kind of security is going on that campus that you got these fusions going?
Oh
And
no.
what is the protocol for evacuation in the event of a
nuclear reaction meltdown.
okay?
I don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot of things in this world. If you think about you would not want to leave your house.
Mm, yes. And what happens to your property value? You want to live in the university community because the property values are high. That's good.
It's a crazy world. I'm just saying when you think about it.
So that's what I wanted to share
And
with you.
let's assume that he's going to use his powers for good.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just
we're
yeah.
assuming that he's under the auspices of the university. I'm just saying the universities are not well known for their security. Okay.
Exactly, and that's why we just hope they're going to make right decisions. Everybody's going to make right
I mean,
decisions.
look at schools back in session. Look at these universities where the kids are sitting in for different reasons. Okay, they
Oh
can't even
yeah.
control the quad. Okay, just okay. Moving on. I digress. I just wanted to say that in Canada, they have actually removed the cell phones from the classrooms, and now the teachers are, but they're allowing watches. So, like,
So what's the point? You still got a
I can
device.
still text and talk to my mom. You know what I mean? Because they said that the cell phones are a distraction in the event that you're trying to evacuate, people trying to call their moms, trying to text, send that last text message that because there's an
Well,
active shooter.
well, if I'm going to do it on my watch, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to
Right.
click
And
and
that's the
I'm
point.
making a phone call.
That's your point. So whoever wrote the legislation forgot to say devices as opposed to
Uh,
phone.
and I think they should be able to have a phone or whatever.
For
If it was my
emergencies.
child, I want my child to have a phone.
After Georgia, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, before Georgia, I think they should have phones in the classroom, and then it should be airplane mode when school, like when you're doing something, but at least on airplane mode, you can hit it and take it out of airplane mode and
Mhm.
still be able to do stuff. Now, if the
Right.
teacher is not alert enough to know when some kid is down here doing this, playing a game or something, okay, then he or she.
I I think the same thing, Fran. And my thing is, having been a teacher, I'm not going to monitor that. You're in high school. You either are going to be engaged in this lesson or not.
Right.
Right.
You know,
And I'm just saying, even if it were elementary school or whatever, it's in airplane mode. You can bring your phone to school, but when class starts, you put everybody pull out your phone, hit airplane mode, and then let's go to work. When you
Right.
get ready to leave, hit airplane mode and turn it off or whatever you need to do. But having the device on you is because it's the kids who had their device with them that was able to call mom and dad instead of those, well, you can't use your phone.
exactly. Or it's in a
Right.
pouch under my desk, whatever, locked in the drawer, whatever, hanging on the wall. Now everybody's panicking, running across the room to get their phone. You know what I'm saying?
Just
It's
let them keep their phone. Just it's already the device, okay, or do like the criminals do and hit that little button that it shuts down everybody's phone. What if you want to be, you know what I'm saying? I just think the kids should have their phone
Right.
and y'all deal with whatever.
I think so too.
I
And my
agree.
thing too is, you know, I can understand why you can't incorporate the phone into the lesson as much, because every kid doesn't have a phone,
Right.
so it doesn't keep the playing field level. But I just every kid doesn't have the same brand of tennis shoes. It's public school. Kids who have phones, let them have their phones.
Right. Now, in where that is concerned, everybody gets an iPad or everybody gets a tablet. The classrooms has a tablet for each desk. Come on,
Right.
that should be a given.
Oh my goodness. It's a lot to it's a
To
lot for them
navigate.
to
So there you go. That's all I have, guys.
And some common, I'm like, some common sense ain't always common.
Nope. Not at all.
Like
Not at
nuclear
all.
fusion on a college campus. Okay.
Who thought this was a good idea?
I was thinking,
17-year-old.
because I was like, it's in the lab, so don't they have supervisors and teachers and professors in there? Hey, what you doing?
My concern is not that he built it in the lab. My concern is the university security. Okay.
Are they up to the task?
Right, but what I'm saying is that you can't just go into the lab. There's chemicals and things in there. Isn't there somebody supervising that?
Yes, there's somebody supervising that.
But they didn't see this.
Yes, they did. And
But they allowed it.
and that's my concern.
Y'all knew what he was building, right? And
Right.
nobody
It's
said
not
stop.
like they didn't know. Somebody knew.
They approved it. He was
Right.
monitored. They had to buy the equipment to give it to him,
Yes.
to give him access.
School property.
All of that.
It was legal.
All of that. And Italy is known for floods, earthquakes, fires. Okay. It's not a big
Right.
country. Okay.
And somebody goes, oops.
Oh yeah, did we lock did we lock up the lab before we left for the fire?
Ay, güey.
Just saying. I mean, we're a pretty big country with a lot of resources. And we got issues.
Right.
TJ, you're on.
Are we ready?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, we
Okay.
are.
All right. So let's talk about this week in social media news and updates. You know, we like to start with Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at Snap. Snapchat is adding sponsored snaps. Now, what is a sponsored snap? Think LinkedIn and mail. You know how you get mail in your LinkedIn box and it's sponsored and it's annoying? Well, that's what Snapchat is adding inside of the DMs and Snap.
Wait, so you're going to come into my inbox, into my direct mailbox,
Sponsored snap.
and put oh, so that's that newspaper that comes in the mail with
Oh,
with all of the sale papers and crap that
I
comes.
don't like it on LinkedIn. I'm not gonna like this. Don't give me sponsored whatever. I didn't ask for you to be in my inbox.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so here the CEO of Snapchat, Evan Spiegel says sponsored snaps appear in the chat inbox as a new snap without a push notification, and opening the message is optional. This allows advertisers to engage prospective customers all the way down the funnel, all within a single ad unit, raise awareness with broad reach in the chat inbox, improve consideration with people who choose to view the snap, and drive conversation with an in message call to action.
Mm.
Hmm.
Fred got comments.
Okay. Wait, there's some more. Let me give you more of what he's saying. As we continue to evolve sponsored snaps, we're excited to enable more messaging features powered by generative AI and integrated into advertisers' CRMs to help our partners communicate with their customers at scale. As always, your conversation with friends are private and are not used for advertising purposes, but you're going to send me a sponsored snap. You're going to interrupt me in my inbox with an
Yeah,
advertiser.
yes, they are. Fred calls
Okay.
it virtual junk mail.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what that is. That's that.
Yeah.
And now, when it's in the feed, whatever, but not coming straight into
Right. So
my
what
inbox.
Snap has figured out, because remember, Snap was trying to make money.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
figured out that they could attract the small business advertiser. Because remember, there's a part of Snap, if you make a lens and you're in a certain local area and you go on the Snap and you look at the lens, the business could make a lens, which is, a covering, an overlay. And, it's basically talking about your business. So Snap has had that for a long time, but now they're figuring out they can get ad dollars from not Pepsi, but your local gardener or your local bakery or your whatever. And if they get more smaller advertisers, that's money. That adds up. That's what they're trying to do.
And this
And
is
to entice these people, you give them sponsored snaps.
and so this kind of reminds me of what Hulu Disney has just done.
Mm-hmm.
We can buy ads on Hulu, and our ads can be on Hulu
Right. For
as a
local advertising.
right, and
Mhm.
you can have an ad campaign
Yes.
on local
Yes.
through Hulu and
Yeah.
Disney.
Right. Whereas a business would think, I can't afford that, but now they can. They've made it affordable because they've
Right,
created another SMB, small business division,
right.
and they give them tools for local business, local SEO, local discovery, which is what a local business wants.
And this is why they're taking on the Facebook model
Yes.
where the ads were, right?
Yes.
They gone from the big corporate ads to
Right.
down to the
Because
micro.
that's how Meta makes a lot of their money. You would
Mhm.
think they make a lot of money from Coke and Pepsi and Nike. No, it's from us. running a daily ad.
Yep.
That's how Meta makes a whole bunch of money. Small advertisers. So
But they
Snap,
don't put it in our
yeah, they
DMs.
don't put in it. Yeah, Meta doesn't do that because they don't want to annoy you. And I'm telling you, if this thing on LinkedIn, I'm like, I keep going in there and it says sponsored, and I just delete it. I don't even open it. I just three dots delete, three dots delete. I wish there was a button to say, please don't send me these sponsored email messages because I don't want anything from this person. It's interruptive. I don't know you. I don't care. But these people, and getting on to LinkedIn real quick, I was on AppSumo and they had some tool this week that lets you send cold email automatically AI with the sponsor. I'm like, I don't want that. If you reach out to me like that, I don't want what you're selling. Even though I might need it, I don't want it because I didn't seek you out. You interrupted me. You interrupted my inbox where I don't want you in my inbox because I don't know you. And
And
like
so
Fred
that's
said, virtual junk man, I don't want that.
like a when you're having a conversation in person and somebody walks up to you like, hey, you know, you're having a
Hey,
you
you
and
want
Terry.
you want to buy some watches? I'm dude. No, the coat and the
Right. And how about this toothbrush over here?
Little random stuff. Okay.
no,
That
I
was,
don't want that.
that was on Coming to America, and we got these
Yes,
gold
because that's what they used to do here in New York. To walk around and open. That's where it comes from. Open up the coat. Hey, I got these. Why? Hey, I got these. Because that's what hustling was around here on the street. You get a quick sale and you run, but you don't want to do that as a business online. You don't want the quick sale. You want to involved loyal customer who comes back and brings others with them. But if you interrupt me, I'm not going to do that. So good luck, Snap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
France about comments.
Fred said next they will offer ad-free IG for $239 a month.
Oh my
And
goodness.
virtual
Be
virtual B5
yes, Lou and Lady. That's what I was thinking about on Good Times. He even had a
Lenny,
TV. He even had a TV inside of his coat. A TV.
you have that right here.
Okay, so wait, there's more from Snapchat. Snapchat is also adding promoted places, which will enable businesses to highlight their stores on the Snap Map. Here's the quote. With promoted places, businesses can use the Snap Map to reach incremental customers who are exploring places nearby and easily measure the visitation lift with our closed loop and privacy safe measurement. So those are just the tools that they have if you are a small business and you run ads. They have, like Meta has different things in there. So Snap has decided that they're going to do, like you said, they're going to do the Meta thing, get more small businesses, and guess who uses Snapchat 18 to 34? So the businesses that's their target audience and customer, they might want to do that because I don't think it's a lot of money to run an ad on Snap, but it's just that Snap appeals to a niche crowd of 13. I'll say 13 to 34. So, but if your audience is 54, you can do it, but you're not. There's a better ways to go. Meta, there's better ways to go with your ad. We're talking ad money, ad dollars, running an ad. Okay, you get more if you go to Meta. It's just how it is because of your target audience and where they hang out. Okay, so that's Snap. Now I'd like to bring you some new apps. And there's a couple here. Let me see which one now. Okay. So the first one is Cairo, or Cairo, Caro. Not C, K. I'm not saying C. Karo, Karo, Caro. It's a to-do app that lets you assign tasks to your friends and family. Now let me see. Did I have?
Oh wow, that should be great in the hands of a narcissist.
So let so let me explain a little bit, because when I was reading this, I was like, but if we're all on Apple, I could just send you a reminder. I could send you a note. I can that kind of thing. But here's the deal. So it's because the friends and family may not use the same task management app. I just saw friends. Yeah, that's the word. So
And that's
Cairo,
yeah, I saw that same thing. I thought, Sarah,
that's what it is. Now,
Mhm.
the founder Mustafa Youssef, and this is India. He's in India. He says iOS. It's an iOS app only right now. I think they're planning on doing Android. He says Cairo means to do it in Hindi. Aims to solve the problem of everybody not being on the same task management app, or even having the app open. So let me
Mhm.
give you a little bit more about it. So he developed this app because other apps didn't allow him the flexibility of signing tasks to people in your address book. Now here's a quote. No app allowed me to simply delegate and track tasks I have for people in my contacts. For example, my accountant, sister, plumber, electrician. I just want to send them a task, have them receive it on the apps they already use. And he used an example of WhatsApp and messages. Like, people are on different apps and they get notified when they act on the task. If they don't, instead of me nagging them, I prefer the app to send automatic reminders, no matter what app. So say I like Messenger, or somebody likes WhatsApp, and I'm not going to be in WhatsApp. So, but this app will send it to all the places automatically, right? So it has an interface that looks like a conversation in a messaging app. And then it automatically creates a task with a deadline if you mention a specific time and date, because it has AI in it. You can mention a particular person to assign a task to them. So there's all the buttons, the adding date, time, and a contact. And he says that you can use Cairo AI to break down larger tasks into smaller tasks. They can also ask AI to help them plan a trip and list to-dos, for example. Once you assign the task to someone, they get a notification on Cairo if they have the app. Otherwise, the app first sends them a chat on WhatsApp or whatever app they're using. And if that fails, a reminder goes out via text message. Okay, so you use Cairo to set up a task. And like he said, his example was accountant, sister, plumber, electrician, and they don't all use Messenger. They all use WhatsApp. They don't all use Telegram or whatever app, messaging app. So this one app will reach out to them, send them the task, assign it. If they don't do it, it sends out reminders. If they don't look at the reminder in WhatsApp, it goes to their text message. Now,
so
this app is available for free, but you have to pay if you want to use some of the features like groups and themes and the extras. And it was priced at $4.99 per month, $39.99 per year, and $99.99 for lifetime unlock. That is Cairo.
okay,
Karo.
so this sounds like you want me to do something that I really don't want to do, and and you're gonna send me. I need you to do this. I'm just hearing.
Right. And yes, I'm assigning you a task. I want you to do it, but I don't want to be constantly sending you updates and reminders to do this, do that. The app does it automatically.
Who said that I wanted to do whatever task you sent me to do in the first place?
Maybe being passive aggressive.
Well, it's
Stop
four
yelling.
things different. Like, okay, we're moving into the new house. You agreed to help us move, and here's the date. Instead of me reminding you or calling you or texting you, this app does the work for me.
I'd rather just text you, hey, to confirm an appointment.
Right, you could do that, but see, he's saying that everybody's on different messaging apps. So, do you want to go in that app for Sally, and this app for Michael, and this app for Mom, and this app? You want all of those apps, so you just use the one.
But the bottom line was, if it didn't do all of that, it would just send you a text message. So can we just go straight to the text message and just say,
right? But I'm seeing a point of if it's the plumber, you're not texting the plumber because you know.
I would.
Yeah. Well, see, again, he's in India. Maybe things work differently there. I don't know.
I'm just like, I don't want you telling me what to do and then reminding me through an app of something that
but it's a task that you agreed to do.
Oh, really? It didn't sound that way.
You came over to help me paint the house on Saturday in 2 weeks. I'm just sending you, reminder in the app instead of going to the phone or it's I see the purpose of it. It saves some steps. And then
but they have to have the app.
No, they don't. No, they don't. You have the app.
Oh my gosh.
You have to know which app they're on though. But
right, but see, this is for friends and family. It's not for strangers.
Did I skip the one that says where Fred says it sounds like something I've heard of before?
Yeah, you did. Okay, Cairo, Fred, let's start there. Cairo means not doing it in America.
Because it means do it in Hindi.
He's like, we're not doing that. Fred says, sounds like something I heard of before. Some social media management
realize, like, he's in India, so it's a different. And we've already talked about how internationally people use WhatsApp, and over here we really don't. We use this, that, and the other. So you have to have each app if you want to talk to certain people. He's trying to make it you have the one app, but it's specifically for tasks. And then you don't have to have the app because you're already on Messenger. So the app, it's like the app does the work for you. I'm trying to explain it. The app does the work for you with AI. Cairo's stalking app.
The app should be called Psst, Psst, don't forget.
Don't forget.
Blah, blah, blah.
I know you got my message.
Yeah, because see, people text messages and you leave them on red.
I know you got my message.
So this is what one of the new apps, and again, this is the founders in India. So again, there may be some cultural things, but he saw a use for it. All right, so the next one is called Kinsome, Kinsome, Kinsome. I think I got the oh yeah, I do. So let me tell you about it first, and then I got a screen grab. Kinsome aims to bridge the generation gap between kids and grandparents. And you could say, well, we got apps that do that already. You can text message. They
got phones. Oh my God.
Here's the tea. This is that. So the founder, Evan Pingree, and he had some co-founders. He said to create lasting memories and help his 3 young children bond with their grandparents, he designed a communication platform designed for kids and grandparents to share daily updates and preserve cherished memories. Okay, so
so FaceTime and
hold on now. There's more to it. It's not just FaceTime. It's not just text. It's not
maybe because I have 5 grandchildren. I'm just exhausted before you even get started. Go ahead, let me shut up.
Okay, so here's the reasoning. Engaging young children, like 5, young 7, they don't want to talk. They want to go and do stuff. So it says engaging young children in phone conversations with their older relatives can be challenging due to their short attention spans, and they want to go out and play and do whatever else. It can be difficult for younger children to connect with grandparents who they don't see frequently. Because, remember grandpa that you only saw whenever. So their memory is like, okay, who's that? So he says that this is the selling point of this is called Kenzie, an audio first AI companion. It's powered by OpenAI's GPT API, OpenAI's Whisper, and 11 Labs speech synthesis. Aims to support kids and grandparents with expressing themselves, because there's a difference of the generation gap. The kid doesn't want to talk, fine. They work. How is school? Fine. What you doing? Okay.
So now we don't want them to go out and play. I thought we was trying to get them to go out and play.
Right. So there's the gap. So this AI can suggest conversation starters, provide questions, and provide real-time explainers for terms the grandparent may not. For example, if a grandchild talks about Taylor Swift, the app can explain who that is. The company also says that the AI remembers previous conversations, so you can use the information to expand on topics and help form stronger connections. Now, it asks questions as a way to keep the conversation flowing and gather information, and it suggests questions for grandchildren to ask their grandparents. It encourages the grandparents to reflect on their lives and share stories, blah, 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 blah. Once the kid finished recording all responses, it sends the highlights to the grandparents to listen to. Now, I got a screen grab so we can see what this looks like. So basically, it's the app where the AI is nudging the kid to, do this, do that. And then the grandparents get it and they're like, well, what the kid is talking about, I don't know this, that the meme that's out now. What is the very mindful, all of the memes that come out that if you don't know it, but the kid does,
Good job, Fred.
this app explains it to the grandparents. So they're not in the dark going, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Let me see. Is this big enough? Should I make it a little bigger? There we go. It says, hi, Grandpa Joe. Greta Bear made 3 recordings for you. 1 fact and 2 fibs. Can you get... So it's a little game. It's gamification. It's emojis. It's video. They had all the stuff in to interact. And then there's the button that says go back to messages. And then you can leave a voice thing. AI will help you what to respond with the kid and stuff like that.
Do they have to have the app too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. What so far? This is one screen. This is like one of the... There are things to facilitate conversations between the younger child, which may not have the vocabulary or the wherewithal or want to talk because they don't see the grandparent or the relative that often. So there's a lot of dead silence when you call. This is like they're not talking to each other in real time. It's like send this game, play this game, tell me about when you was a kid, grandpa, blah 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 blah. So it's like a back and forth thing, not real
time. These grandparents got a lot of time on their hands. I'm just
go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out who's going to download this app for grandma. If grandma is not okay, grandma.
So here's the scenario: Thanksgiving. Hey, grandma, grandpa, whoever, you want to keep in touch with the kid, and this is a way to do it without pulling teeth and talking on the phone.
Yeah, but it is.
Give me your phone, and then after Thanksgiving or whatever holiday, when you see them, there's the I'm thinking of remember the can with the string? That's what this is.
Okay.
What age is this recommended for?
Okay, hold on. Fred said this is Kim some didn't some sounds like a Susie item. And this I agree with the doing too much app.
Okay, so there's more. Now because of the downloading in the app, there's more. It's designed to be simple and accessible, so you don't have to download an app. They get a text message that gets emailed, or they get emailed a link to see a written transcript of all the questions that the AI asks and all the responses, including voice recordings. Parents who are required to sign up their child before using the app also receive a text notification when their child sends a message to the grandparent.
What if the grandparent is crazy?
Well, then the parents would not be sending that to them, I would assume. But
no. So see, you don't need the app. The grandparent doesn't need to download the app, because if you have it's like Google Voice. You have a Google Voice number and somebody calls and leaves a message, you don't have to look at the app because it goes to your inbox.
Yeah, I get that. But the child, okay, so they're trying to encourage the child to interact with grandma and grandpa. That is the gist of this.
Right.
But how did our parents get us to talk to grandma and grandpa? We wrote them a letter. This is what I did this summer.
right?
Okay, but all right, but kids today don't do that.
But my mom said, sit down and write a letter to your grandma.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
Kids today don't do
so
that, and parents don't have the time or the bandwidth to do that.
but they have time and bandwidth to do this. This right here
There's
is
a gamification.
complicated.
I understand what you're saying, but there's a gamification part of it in here for the child to facilitate them talking. Because right,
So
see, you're
now,
saying the parent does that. Today's parent don't do that.
I heard you say one sentence that really disturbed me.
What?
That AI is gathering information about the child.
Well, AI I told you guys AI was going to be in everything.
Yep, and it
Right.
is gathering
So-
information in a specific
Well, I mean,
place.
there may be an option where it doesn't gather it. Well, it gathers information because of the conversation between the child and the grandparent, and it
Right, and it's
uses
still
that,
gonna-
and that's how all your AI work like that.
right.
It has a memory. You can go on ChatGPT. It will say memory updating. It will memorize within that conversation because it makes it easier to get the information for the next thing.
Right.
It's
So-
all programming. It's all programming language. Instead of me doing this over and over, there's a shortcut. And then I just use the shortcut, the AI, I mean. So that's what this is about. I'm pretty sure there's privacy stuff in there and whatever, but this is how AI works. It needs, I said the other day that it needs data.
So
I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
work without data.
Yeah, I don't know.
So-
As a grandparent, the only thing I expect is a text or a call back saying thanks for the money.
Okay,
Granny."
and see, this is for grandparents who want to have more of an interactive conversation
I
with the
guess so.
child, but the child wants to do other things like play Xbox or Roblox or this or that. The parent is like not of the old, back when, because my mom was like, go see your grandma, go do, and I would do it. But there's no parent doing that now, or they don't really do that stuff. So the app can be a fun way because it's fun. There's colors and screens
So we
and
say,
emojis and dancing this and music to make the child, oh, let me do this in a fun way and ask grandpa about when they were a child. Because there's prompts in there, AI,
Mhm.
that prompt the child to
Okay.
ask a question.
Mhm.
And
And
I'm
let's see
just
how
saying,
that works.
because when my relatives are, oh, let me talk to my daughter, and then she's like, yeah, no, because it's one word answers. Because I don't see
Right,
you
but,
that often.
but they do one word answers until they're about 15, 16. You getting one words.
They do
they
that
not.
beyond. Oh,
Anyway.
no.
Fred said,
Beyond.
"Oh, it's a generational translator."
basically.
And
Yeah,
then he
kinda.
says, "Well, what is you talking about, app?"
Yeah, because see, the kid is going to talk about whatever the popular thing is online. Grandparents are not paying attention to that because they're on the part of Facebook where they're talking about the things that they're.
But isn't that
with.
part of the conversation? I don't know what that's about. Can you explain that to me? Isn't that what conversation is about?
See,
And
kids
don't
kids
let the
don't work that
robot
way anymore.
interpret for
It
me.
doesn't work that kids don't work that way anymore.
Mm.
Anyway, grandparents reading all that on the phone, no. And that's the
Well, it
let's
doesn't
say
come to
doing
the
it on
phone.
a
It can go.
tablet.
It goes to the email or text message.
Okay.
And then he said, "Yes, I was." Fred said, "Yes, I was made to call your great grand. We were pushed to call the old
but see,
folks."
that was your parent, my parent. Call your grandmother, go visit blah, 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 blah. They're not doing that now. And then realize the grandparents in another state or in California, East Coast, West Coast. You're not seeing them that often. So there's not a facilitation of conversation if the grandparent was down the street or in the next block or in the next city and you saw them more often. See, that's what this is. So
okay, so I got two granddaughters that are 45 minutes away or whatever. So should I?
But how old are they?
Yes.
How old are they?
4th grade, 6th grade, I think.
Okay, what's that? 7, 10, 12?
I don't know. So should I get this? And
Well, see, here's the other part of that. You probably taught your daughter to, hey, to make them do things like you said. There's other people that aren't doing that. They're not pushing their kids to do X, Y, Z. Get on the phone and hey, get out of my hair. So
okay.
oh, Mark has a good well, is it a
Yeah,
joke?
I'm like, hey,
Oh,
good
okay.
morning,
I
Carlos.
just saw some big.
And then Mark says, Grandma, why do you keep buying those box assorted candies? Who likes them? Do you really like them? Why? At what point did you lose your taste?
There's a I forgot. I think I saw this somewhere online. There's the joke about asking the grandparents why the butter cookie tin never has butter cookies in it.
Listen, it's not just grandparents, that's parents too. Our
Yes,
butter
yes.
cookie tin always had sewing supplies.
Yes.
So they had a meme or something about a poll like, are there cookies? Butter cookies in this butter cookie tin? Everybody was like, no.
No, we had never a taste of them. So to have a tin, at some point, butter cookies had to have existed, but they never did. So I've come to the realization that these butter cookies are just a myth. That really is a tin for sewing supplies. There were never any cookies in it.
It was so funny. I died laughing. They were like, oh, they put a poll, are there butter cookies in here? And the ones that knew was like, nope. And the ones that weren't clued in were like, yeah. Like, no, there's
no,
the
you
butter
don't
cookies
understand.
are all gone.
And you know what? That's worldwide because I've seen it before on social media where people said, yeah, I live in Denmark and we never had cookies. And these cookies are Danish and there were never cookies in them.
Yeah, Grandma, can I have a butter cookie? Or you just going, well, I want a butter cookie. It says butter cookie on the tin, but But that's just what, one of the things. So a lot of these apps and things are because children aren't being raised the way that we were raised, like the things that we went through. Those things aren't happening. Everything's digitally now.
Okay, so I predict this app will not be here next year. It'll go the way of Be Real.
Probably not. So that's what. So I got one more new app.
People in nursing homes, I just can't see it. I was like,
so we got one new app. Another one is called Vibe. VYBE. VYBE. I got a screenshot. Oh, let me tell you before I bring up the screenshot. Okay, so 2 Oxford PhDs are building an app that lets you remix photos into memes. So it's a new social network by these 2 people. It doesn't say men or women. It says Oxford PhDs working on an app that lets you add friends to a photo in more memeable and fun way. So mobile app that lets you upload a selfie and put your face in any picture or existing template. It swaps your face of you and your friends in a picture with multiple people, and it does different things to the selfie. Users can see photos created by their friends in a feed and upload their own templates too. Right now they have more than 100,000 user generated templates with and they keep adding more and more and more. So let me give you a screenshot. Let me do
this will now show me in the Olympics running track, right?
So this is it. Snap a selfie. See yourself in any pic, share with friends. I mean, this was all that the visual that they had. I didn't see any memes, but that's what it was saying, that it was supposed to be memes. I'm like, I didn't see any memes there. I just see them swapping. So there's things in here you can do. So they want to encourage people to connect more, and they want to build more photo and video related tools combining social AR and generative AI. There you go. Now, the article mentioned, and here, let me close that. The article mentions that there's already face swapping apps such as Reface. The Vibe is saying that the ease of creating templates and users remixing them will do more than the apps that are out now. And this app is available for download on iOS and Android. Okay, I did not look up any of these apps. These are just like, I was like, okay, these are new. Let's talk about them. And like Fran said, they may not, maybe here, may not. Anybody using Be Real, or what was the other one? Lemon something? Lemonade. Where are they? I don't know.
Nope.
Okay, so let's talk about, oh, there's one more we really don't talk about, Blue Sky. Now, Blue Sky has added 2 million more new users. Why? It's because of X.
Mm-hmm.
X shut down in Brazil. Those people have to go somewhere. They went to Blue Sky. So Blue Sky says they've had more than 2 million new users over the past couple of days, up from 500,000 from last week. So they have been having trouble with the app working because there would be not enough resources. Error message because there's so many people coming to the servers to sign up for Blue Sky. It became the number 1 app in Brazil over the weekend, and they said the downloads soared by 10,584% the weekend compared to the one previous. The downloads in Brazil were up by a whopping 1,018,952%. So Blue Sky is seeing an explosion of Brazilians coming to sign up. So they're saying the ones with the most and this wave is not just Brazil. So they're saying the most downloaded growth was Portugal, Chile, Argentina, Colombia, and Romania. It's also driven the engagement up. They're saying the number of likes went to 104.6 million over the past 4-day period that this happened, up from 13 million the previous time they measured it, which was the week before the X thing happened. They're saying followers grew from 1.4 million to 100.8 million. Reposts grew from 1.3 million to 11 million. They're saying people are going to X because it's similar to Twitter, like it, or X, whatever. It's similar to the likes, reposts, quote posts. It's the same function. And so if you don't know, because I really don't report on X, but something Elon refused to do. Here, let me see. Did I write it down? He refused to do something. The court in Brazil banned the app. Immediate countrywide suspension of the X platform in Brazil after a months-long legal battle with Musk's social media company over content moderation, something he refused to do, and they shut him down.
Wow.
I really didn't pay attention because I don't care what X does. I really don't.
Well, they are shutting down their San Francisco headquarters on the 13th.
Okay.
Okay.
It's slowly dying.
The dismantling has become.
It's slow. They keep throwing out new stuff. Like I heard there's like a XTV or something, or they got Don Lemon, the whole Don Lemon thing to bring over the new shows. It's all for show. It's just a slow death. It's like a film star, the old school film star doing, oh, I'm dying. I'm melting from the Wizard of Oz. I'm melting. Well, melt already. Why don't you? So that's what's going on with X and Blue Sky. Now I got a couple more. Let's talk about real quick. LinkedIn has an in-feed video carousel. So they trying to push new video content. It's in-feed carousels of video clips. It's a side-scrolling display of video clips that they're shown. They're algorithmically matched to you based on your in-app activity and noted profile details. Tapping into one of the displayed clips takes you through to LinkedIn TikTok like full screen video feed presented in vertical format. So they launched this new feed back in March, LinkedIn is trying to get people to interact with video. So that's one of the things that's going on with LinkedIn. Let me make sure I got everybody before I get to the big three. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay. So let's talk about YouTube. YouTube has added new supervisory tools for teen users. They rolled out some tools that give parents more oversight into their kids' channel activity and what they're posting and sharing in the app. This is a part of YouTube's Family Center. Parents will be able to connect to their child's account, which will give them insight into usage stats and engagement details so they can track how they're using the app. They'll also get email notification about key events when they when the kid uploads video, starts a live stream, blah blah blah. So they will get that notification. This is YouTube, but remember they also have the profile of YouTube Kids. So, but to use regular YouTube, this is what we're talking about. Regular YouTube, you have to be 13. Also, YouTube is developing a new process to detect AI deepfakes. This is very important. They're trying to have new detection processes that will be able to alert creators, publishers whenever their face or voice is used in another clip. Okay, so they're working on the AI in the background with that. The technology will use audio matching to highlight likely fakes and copies, which will enable artists and publishers to better manage any false depictions of their work. They're also developing a new tool that will be able to detect and manage AI generated content depicting real people's faces. So this is all, they're doing all this very important because of political stuff, the election, and this is starting to get more serious where people can use these tools and deep fake real people and they don't know. And Google has something called AI powered Ask Photos feature. This was at their Google I/O developer conference in May, so they're rolling it out. It's called Ask Photos. This AI that allows the AI to find photos using complex queries. Like you ask it to do certain things. Did they have an example here? Yeah, so the feature would you would be able to ask questions to get helpful answers. For instance, a parent could ask Google Photos which themes they had used for their child last 4 birthdays. The AI would be able to analyze party photos and determine if a theme was involved, like mermaid, princess, superhero, and whatever, and then it would tell the parent the answer. So Ask Photos is just generative AI looking at your photos and you're asking it a question and it brings you the answer. Okay. So that is Ask Photos. This is available within Google Labs and you have to sign up to get on the waiting list for that. So if you want to do that, just Google Ask Photos and they will tell you how to get to the website. I talked about X. Okay, let's talk about TikTok. TikTok has rolled out again more safety measure for teens. They're really getting on this family and teens safety measures by using the apps. So they're having TikTok is having some new safety tools to young users, including updated in-app resources for parents, improved advice guides, and a new TV campaign that highlights the safety features. So they partnered with the Family Online Safety Institute to develop a new digital safety partnership agreement for families. So this is to help get the conversation started between parents and teens, talk about the potential dangers of online exposure, being online. So they want to set positive digital boundaries together. They're also TikTok is also launching refreshed editions of its Guardians Guide and Teen Safety Center in order to help families make better use of its various tools and controls. And then also they launched TikTok launched a TV campaign highlighting all of these tools, and you can find the video at TikTok Newsroom. That's their handle, TikTok Newsroom, all one word. So you can find it there. And one more from TikTok, they're adding IG notes like features to the inbox. So if you know the notes feature from Instagram, which we've talked about a lot, why? They're adding their notes feature to the little bubble stories in TikTok. But they can't call it notes because, well, notes belongs to Instagram, and also TikTok has a separate app that's based around the word notes or something. So they're calling in their little bubbles thoughts in TikTok. You're being prompted to add a thought. It's displayed in the inbox in the stories feed. It's also shown on your profile image. Now, we've talked about the notes a lot. Instagram loves the notes feature because Gen Z loves it. So that's why it's a big thing and they're pushing it. Okay? The notes. I've seen it. I've used it. TikTok's still pending. Yeah, that's all legal. That's all in the legal. I don't expect to hear anything until January. So I think there was something out this week, but this is all in the courts. TikTok and IG should merge Instatalk. Fred, you just put something in the air. Instatalk. I don't know. Well, that's not going to happen because TikTok is China owned. So that's the whole deal. That's the whole boat we're in now. China's not giving up control. China's not selling. So we'll see what happens in January. So that's the TikTok thought. And one more thing, TikTok, this was an old story, I think, before Labor Day, that they have something called a managed topics tool. It gives you more control over your For You feed, so you can control what you see in the For You feed. It's in your settings. You go in. You can customize your preferences for different topics such as sports, travel, humor, current affairs, and blah blah blah. And you decide what you want to see and what you don't want to see, and that's called manage topics in your settings. And yeah, so let me see. Yeah, that's it. One more Instagram. One more from Instagram. Instagram stories is adding stories comments. You can now comment on Instagram stories. Who wants that? So Instagram is rolling out comments for stories. Previously, you could only reply to a story in DM. Now, you'll be able to, and I think I saw it. There's a little section on the left of the box where you do the DM, and it says comment. Comments can be visible to anyone who watches your comments. So they're saying that the original poster will not receive the comments in the DM. Comments live only on your story. Story comments can be turned on or off for individual posts. Comments can be seen by anyone following an account, but only mutuals can leave comments. Mutuals, that means you're following each other. The comments would disappear after 24 hours because the story disappears after 24 hours. And so there's a little icon at the bottom of the story. I think it's to the left. I think I saw it. No, I didn't tap on it. I saw it. People can still choose to respond to stories with the DM if the user has set their account to accept those messages. There's also an option to send a DM in response to a story comment, which you can do by swiping left on the text and tapping the DM icon. Okay. Stories comments are displayed along the bottom of the frame above the function controls and viewer details, so they're not intrusive. It could be another way to get people talking about stories, updates, and Instagram wants people to engage and have conversations. So that's why there are story comments in Instagram stories. You can turn it on or off, or there's different combinations of how you want to do it. Okay. And that's your social media news and update for the week. Any questions?
Oh,
Oh, you're muted. Okay.
Fred says I call it TikTok, a tick block, because I block more pages than liking them. I do follow old school DJs on the platform.
Okay, so TikTok with the managed feed, now you can go in, instead of doing it individually, you do it in your settings. Like, I don't want to see any sports stories or videos, bloop, then you don't see any, or whatever the cat. I didn't go and see the setting, whatever the category is that you want to block. See if I can go in real quick. So you can do that. So instead of individually saying I don't want to see this, this, and that, you can do it by category or interest.
That sounds like a good feature.
I'm assuming so, but I'm going to see in now because I didn't check out the settings. I just saw the story, and there you go. Which is see, oh, I got an unfinished post. Well, I can't post that. That's old.
In response to the Instagram, as you're doing that,
yes.
Today on Who Asked for This, who asked for the ability to be able to comment on stories? Did
none of us asked for that?
Okay, so this Instagram story comment ties into notes. Who asked for that? Who used notes? I've seen it. I did a note, and I was like, "Well, why? I don't. Why am I doing it? It's because the Gen Z used to Snapchat, used to the interaction. Instagram puts all that in because they love notes." And it was in one of the articles. I forgot. I can't pull it up, but it was saying that that's why they're going all in and things like this story comments and stuff, because that's the stuff that Gen Z loves. So they're putting the catnip out for Gen Z because that's who they really want on the app.
Well, they're the ones who have time to chase a ball of yarn, because nobody is finna sit there and read all those notes. You know how many notes there are? Who's gonna sit there and read all that? I don't have the time. So yeah, that's for people who have time to chase balls of yarn.
So I'm gonna say expect more things like story comments and notes and whatever the other little catnip things that that Gen Z loves.
Catnip.
That's what it is. It's catnip. Because people are saying, "What is notes? What I do with notes?" Because it's not for us. It's for those kids that love.
It's for the people that are very mindful, very demure.
Right. And then notes, you can send like music and stuff. And I'm like, again, who's doing that?
I will say this. The exception to when I really looked at notes is because when we had in the CQ community, we had somebody who we called the mayor of CQ who passed away from sickle cell. And it was like a shock. And so one of his favorite things was like oranges. It was like a symbol. So a lot of us were like posting orange hearts and orange emojis in the notes for that. So it made it, it kind of built that camaraderie on top of everything else. And you can look and see, oh, okay, this person knows, this person knows. So I could see how that could be useful in that case. But to sit and read everyday notes, I don't. I haven't really even looked at them since that.
Right. Well, I saw it in I think it was in Messenger or someplace where the little circles live. And I saw the little bubbles. And I was like, oh, notes is over here. Let me see. And again, who asked for it? Gen Z loves it.
And if they love it, so
Instagram
does Meta.
Meta loves it. Because that's who they really want. Everybody else is on here. Hey. Okay.
Well, good. That's fine, because it's not like I'm clamoring after them anyway. So you like it, I like it for you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. I don't see where this managed topics is. So yeah.
Fred has a comment. He says it's a lot of crazy pages that may not be categorized. Example, like people looking like the dude from the movie Mask doing nothing.
Who looks like Rocky from Mask?
The dude from the movie Mask, the green with
oh wait, there's 2 Mask movies now.
Really?
Right. The
original Mask was Cher and and then there's the Mask with Jim Carrey. Right.
Yeah, The Mask.
Yes. The mask share the
And then
mask.
the mask,
Jim
right,
Carrey.
with Sharon Eric Stoltz, and then the mask. So
Right.
which one?
Fred, which one were you referring
Which
to?
one, Fred?
I think you're muted, Terry.
Yeah, I am muted. He said the Share movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. The Eric Stoltz character.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Dr.
All
Tachi,
right.
seems like you are up.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is today. It was a good shoot I had today, but it drained me. Wow, it was what we did, like a lot of shooting, which is great. Which is great. Um, so lots happening in the world of media as usual. But there was a question I wanted to pose, and I can't remember it now, but I probably it will come back to me.
Mm.
So let's just go ahead and
Was it
start.
about an app?
Um, I think it was in relationship to something you brought up, and then I wanted to ask further because it also related to media, and I can't recall it now, but it will come
okay.
back to me.
Okay.
So, do we remember our good friend Risa Tisa from TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was
It's
gonna send you this story, but you got it already.
I did. I was gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Mediascope pop up tonight, so I'll
Ooh.
talk about it there. Yeah.
Okay.
So, in case you hadn't heard already, Risa Tisa, who people are probably wondering, well, what has happened to Risa Tisa? What's going on? Well, she's represented by Creative Artists, CAA. That's one of the top agencies in Hollywood. And guess what? Your agents and representation only get paid when you work. So, you know, they were working hard to find what's going on. And something is coming. So, the TikTok series, Who the F or Who TF Did I Marry, which she started a 52 episode video series on TikTok, is now getting TV adaptation, and Natasha Rothwell is going to star and produce in it. Now, do you all know who Natasha Rothwell is? You
Yeah, I
remember
do.
Insecure?
I do.
oh,
So
okay.
she was she the showrunner for Insecure? I think she was the showrunner for
She
Insecure,
had
and
something
she
to do
also
with the
she was a writer for
yeah,
Insecure, and then she ended up being on the show.
right.
So she and she also is in, what is that series she's in now?
I don't
Dead,
know.
dead. So it's where she's works at the airport, and she has like a near death experience
Oh,
type of
really?
thing.
I gotta
Yeah,
see
I
that.
can't remember it. I'll look it up. But yeah,
Okay.
so she's in that now. And that's on now. So she's like really an amazing writer and showrunner. So she is actually involved with this. She's starring in it and producing. So she's going to star as Risa Tisa. Where her name is
Oh,
Teresa
really?
Johnson. Yeah. So she's going to be her in the series. And she's also serving as an executive producer, but so is Johnson. So
Mm-hmm.
Teresa Johnson is also going to be an executive producer. Go ahead. I am so proud of you. You took something negative and you turned it into something great. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so there was a really competitive bidding war, apparently. And the project was set up at ABC Signature, where Rothwell's Big Hattie Productions banner was previously under an overall deal. So, as I said, there are like 50, I think it's actually 52 separate videos that add up to more than 8 hours in length. I watched all of them, as I told you. Very addictive, very interesting. And for those people who don't know or who have forgotten, and it talks about, in that series on TikTok, she talks about the deception involved with her in the relationship with her ex-husband, who she describes as a pathological liar. And the series on TikTok got more than 450 million impressions across social media and earned Johnson more than 3 million followers in a 2-week period. So, I mean, that goes to show you that if you are interested, people like transparency. People like a good story and good storytellers. And Risa Tisa is an amazing storyteller. The way she was able to do that and go back and clarify things if need be, amazing to storyteller. So people like good stories. People also like good personalities, but people like transparency. People are nosy, let's just say that. And so, they want to know what's happening, and it's really interesting. Now, this is the interesting thing, and here it is, something that I was going to bring up. This together with I was watching the what's his name? Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp. So two of the recent ones were Marlon Wayans and what's his name? Baby boy. Help me.
Tyrese.
That's it, Tyrese. Yes. Whatever I say, baby boy, people know what I mean. So Tyrese has some interesting things going on. I'll just say that. But there was something he said at the end, that Tyrese said at the end of their video, in terms of the fact that Shannon basically is blessed, that he has what did he say, anointing? I forgot how he put it, but that he has that blessing or anointing, because how many people tried to get Cat Williams on their shows after Cat Williams was on Club Shay Shay, and they're trying to do the same thing, but they don't have it. They don't have it. You have it. That stood out to me because it shows a couple of things, including the fact that people are paying attention. Even though the fact that Tyrese came out and said that means that celebrities and other people are paying attention to this whole world, this whole digital world, and what's happening there, right? That crossover from traditional media to this quote new media world. It's happening and people are paying attention. But that also shows not everybody can do it. So even though 10 million other copycat people tried to come on and tell their stories like Risa Tisa did, it did not have the same effect, because number one, it just shows you're just trying to get a whole bunch of followers and notoriety like she did by telling your half-baked story that wasn't even, why can't you just support, right? Why can't you just say, oh, that was the same case with me and go on? No, you have to try and do the same thing, but you're not even 1/10 as good of a storyteller as she is. So though right. I linked those two together to say that not everybody has it. Not everybody could do the same thing, right? So what this actually is going to probably, and I like it. It's a good thing because it causes people to create content, and I love it. That's what we need. We need more everyday people, I think, creating content. But then people create this content. Now a whole bunch saying, oh, I could get a deal like Risa Tisa did. I can be represented by CAA or William Morris. No, you cannot. No, I'm not trying to be mean, but you cannot.
No, you're correct. We talked about that this week on the content, on the Tuesday show. We talked about what you just said about content, making content. Everybody thought because of Club Shay Shay and this and that, but that was lightning in that Cat Williams episode, lightning in a bottle. Not saying that Shannon's channel is bad or what. He's got great interviews, and his previous highest one I think was Steve Harvey at 10 million views, which is nothing to sneeze at. But this Cat Williams thing was like 75 million the last time I checked. So that it's like you said, people see that and they think, oh, I can do that. Yes, you can do that, but you can't do it the way that Shannon did it. Also, that was a viral moment which cannot be recreated. Exactly. It cannot be recreated. For some reason, and I even said that you can go to YouTube. Cat Williams has been talking for years on YouTube to different people. The same things that he's saying. He didn't give as much details as he did to Shannon, like naming, but he's been talking like this for a long time. You can go to YouTube. Yeah, you can go to YouTube and search Cat Williams. You're going to see all the interviews, 3 years, this, that, saying the same kind of exact thing that he said. But for some reason, this one hit.
But this is the difference. Here's
Right.
the difference here. With the other interviews, and I've seen quite a few, it's been, okay,
Mm-hmm.
sitting at, either in a different location, maybe the same location, but it was not half as relaxed as Club Shay Shay brings you into a softly lit room.
Maybe it's the
The
alcohol.
fireplace is going. You got liquor in you,
Maybe it's
smooth
the
liquor at that.
alcohol
The
that
alcohol
it
makes you
loosened his
loose.
tongue. But
Your
see, that's what
tongue
I'm saying.
is
I
a
don't know why.
wagon.
Right. I don't know why that is. It was like that was the right time. Like you said, everything was set. The set was lit. They had the liquor and the this and the this and relax and everything. And for some reason, he decided to. I'm gonna let. If I'm gonna tell it, I'm gonna tell it all. Like Usher said. But he's been saying it before, just not like that.
And here exactly, and also the fact that Shannon Sharp, he makes no bones about the fact he is not a journalist.
He said
He's a
that.
host, but he says he's not a journalist.
He
So
said
the
that
thing
because he
is,
got the criticism, and he said, "I'm not a journalist."
right. So it feels like you're having a conversation with a friend, because this is not even on something that's on network television. It's not something that's on cable. This is on YouTube. It feels so relaxed. That's the thing about YouTube that's also great. It feels relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all the pretense of, okay, I mean, it's still a production, but okay, we have to do this, and then the ratings, and then it feels relaxed. So he leaned back.
Mm-hmm. But here's the good thing about it is like I said, it's easy. Everybody can do it. It's easy. Not everybody can do it, because there's a whole bunch of back things in the background of production. Even though it doesn't look produced, it is produced. There are people in the back. They set it up. They just but he lets the person talk. See? And like you said, a conversation telling the story. That's the key to it. But people are seeing this going, well, let me run over to YouTube and start a channel and do a club shake, and I'm gonna roll in the dough. That's not there's something special with him. And I explained a little bit about, because Shannon Sharp already had an audience. It was a sports audience, but he already had an audience because he started out playing football, and then he turned that, and then he was on ESPN, and then he had a show with
Skip Bayless.
Yes, and then something happened, and they got confrontational, and there was always this. I've seen the clips on YouTube. There's always this, that, and that, and that, which builds an audience of them being themselves. So then Shannon goes, the next level is, I think I'm just gonna go on YouTube and talk to my friends or whoever, and I'm going to show my liquor, and we're gonna have my cigars.
Thank you. ESPN could never. He could never.
No network.
I'm telling you.
No network.
And the whole product placement of your own products in the thing, which by default, I love it. That's also going to increase sales. So you've got several streams of income coming from this one product, which is a show you started on YouTube. That is marketing and sales 101. Yes. Forget you, ESPN. And this is what television and traditional media is afraid of.
Right.
They're afraid of, they don't want us to do these things. Go ahead.
I got a comment only about Stephen A. Smith just came on with his podcast, whatever, on YouTube. It is not the same.
It can't be.
No, and I don't, he shouldn't try to be, but he is not as effective. I'm just saying. I'm like, okay.
Stephen A. Smith is a different type of personality altogether. He comes off as very academic, shall I say, in terms of his assessments of things, which is completely different from Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is very laid back. Stephen A. Smith is more academic in his approach. And so that doesn't work well for picture. Stephen A. Smith being across from all these people instead of Shannon Sharp. Stephen A. Smith will sit there and try and analyze things to death instead of actually letting the person talk. And that's not a bad assessment on him. That's what he does. And that's why he works. It works for what he does. He's a sports analyst, right? That's why it works for what he does. But Shannon Sharp is a host, and he is growing into his own, and it works. It works.
Stephen A. Smith has antagonized people on social media. He said, and I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to share his opinion, but you shared your opinion and you've alienated some people, and you've alienated this, and you said this and that and going back. You've shown that you're inauthentic. Then you want to go and make a show and be like Shannon, which you can't be because Shannon's likable.
You could never.
He's likable. I don't know what to tell. And then it's because, well, he doesn't say anything controversial. He doesn't have to, because that's him. What you see, that's him. That's him.
Now, it's not about stirring up controversy.
Right.
And guess what?
And here comes Stephen A. Smith. Well, I'm going to manufacture something for controversy, whatever, but it's not authentic. And we can see that.
And if that's what, because aside from that, let's look at somebody else, quote, controversial that Shannon Sharpe had on the show, and that's Amanda Seales. She is, there is nobody else that Amanda Seales would have been comfortable with to talk, because let's be honest, as much as I think Amanda Seales is brilliant, I think that she has the best interest of people and at heart. I think she really does want to be an advocate for the upliftment of people of color in this country. I think she really does. But according to her and what she said on Club Shay Shay, she also is on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum. So sometimes what she says she's very cut and dry because she doesn't know how to look outside of so she's brilliant, but like book brilliant. So if she can't pick up the subtle cues of other things because of that, this is what, according to her and what she said on Club Shay Shay. So that could be seen and as one thing and rub people the wrong way, because even though I'm not making a pass for her, simply because you are on the spectrum, you have enough sense to know that things come off harshly. Temper yourself. So I'm not with her on that, but that's the only place where you saw she explained it out and let it all, let it go. And this happened with this, and this happened. And when I was in Floetry, this happened. The whole story unfolded. I don't think it would have unfolded better anywhere else. Sometimes you don't need that staunch journalist there to elicit the response. You
don't need. And see, that was one of the things that came out after the Cat Williams interview, the criticism, because he went on his other show that he does with Chad Chocinco, right? Is that they have a night show, and they really talk there. And he was explaining how people were complaining about him on social media, saying he's not a journalist. He's like, I'm not a journalist. He's a conversationalist.
And why would
conversation and the right person on?
This is going back to marketing is not marketing, and media is not media anymore. We really don't. I'm not going to say we don't need journalists, because we need people who know how to write and tell, the story. But we don't need people acting like journalists.
They've been missing the mark and doing all kinds of things on mainstream media to where things aren't happening the way they like. But that's hey, whose fault is that? So yes, they got upset because just real quick, they were at the DNC. They had creator journalists or creators, just they had a space for them at the DNC, and the real journalists, the New York Times and all that, was like, oh, why are they there? We don't need that. Yes, we do, because that's where things are going.
Because you people are already made up in your mind certain things.
Yes, they don't watch TV. They follow whatever on TikTok. So if the journalist is over there, the creator who's I'm at the DNC and blah 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 blah, they want that type of story versus the cut and dried CNN commentator sitting at the table with their time. They don't watch that. They don't want that.
And I would have watched the DNC that's almost like watching the basketball game.
It was fun, right?
And you have to turn off the sound so you don't listen to the people calling the game. I just want to watch the game. I want to hear y'all chit chat.
Right. So I agree with that, because that's when I watched it on the PBS had a feed on YouTube that was no talking. C-SPAN also. I wanted to watch that. I don't want to hear the NBC, CBS, whoever people talking over. No, I watched it, the feed.
But see, I
So,
like the commentary because I like to hear, and obviously I'm a journalist, so
mhm.
I'm going to feel a little bit differently about it. But I also like the citizen journalist, where
Right,
the
Yes,
creators,
those
the
people.
right.
influencers. I love to hear what they have to say because
Me too.
those are the people that are being affected and listen to what traditional journalists say, or at least are being affected by what traditional journalists put
Right.
out there. So,
But
and
they
Fred
got
says,
upset. But they got upset with the DNC because why were they there? Why were they allowed to report?
they're there because guess what? Guess what? I think you're not understanding, oh dear journalist, who we're dealing with here in this campaign. We're dealing with a campaign that is really trying to invigorate the youth, really trying to draw them in. And how do you
Mhm.
draw them in? By having one of them or some of them on
A
board.
group of
You think
them.
they
Yeah,
give a damn about Wolf Blitzer or any of that? They don't.
they don't.
Okay, they don't.
No.
So
It's, and see, it
while
ties into the way and we've talked about this a lot, the way media is transforming from network, old guard, old people controlling it, to where I go to YouTube, I go to TikTok, I go to LinkedIn, I go wherever, and I get the news, or I get the information, I get the media the way I want it, not the way that NBC is going to package it, or whatever network is going to package it. We don't have to do that anymore.
no, no. And so I'll give you an example of when I covered this was in 2015. Actually, this is funny. The day
Mhm.
I started Mediascope was the day I did this coverage.
Mhm.
I was doing some coverage for the Burton Wire and for Mediascope, actually, because I just started it
Uh-huh.
from the Urban League National Convention. And
Okay.
that year it happened to be here in Fort Lauderdale. So I was like, perfect. I don't have to go anywhere. And especially like, okay, there'll be things in Miami, but half the time I don't feel like driving to Miami. So it was perfect that everything was like 10 minutes away from me at the convention center. So I covered it. And I remember that so I'm a digital outlet. So I was covering for the Burton Wire, but also Mediascope, which are digital outlets. There is an attitude by traditional media that they're somehow more important than everybody else. And they talk to you, like, especially camera people. I was like, I'm sorry, is your name Jesus? No, then I don't care. So there are, there's this.
I don't care.
I really don't. You are of none, and I'm saying it wrong. None importance to me. You are a non-factor. I could give near a damn. So do what you do, but there's this tendency to step in front of you because they think they're somehow more important. I'm like, you can't be making more than $35 per hour, and this is the way you think. You don't own the news station. You don't own the network. So I don't, I fail to see how you think somehow you are more important. It's all news, and guess what? My audience is not your audience. My audience
Right.
are the people that are interested in watching live streams, the people on social media, etc. And I'm probably going to reach more of that audience than you will. So
Right.
be
What
gone,
bothers
be going.
me, what bothers me is that they don't see what we see. That it's obvious. It's obvious. It's obvious the way that it's going, and the
They
wave.
never will, and that's why they're going to stay exactly where they are. And I'm not saying there's a problem with staying where you are, but people who don't have foresight, who don't have vision, who are not futurists, all they can ever be
That's it.
is who
Future.
they are at that moment. And that's it. And if that's what you like, then that's fine. But if you aspire to be, and honestly, some of these people aspire to be elsewhere or in higher positions. And so that hate that's coming from them is because they want to do what some people like. The hate that's going towards Shannon Sharp and stuff, they could never. They want to
Mhm.
do that. So that's why there's that hatred. But they couldn't. But
Shannon
nobody's stopping
Shannon
you from
Sharp.
doing it. You just don't see the value in YouTube. Like they're like, oh, YouTube. That's what because everybody still thinks, and I'm like, you dafties. How do you still think that traditional television is still number one? Granted,
YouTube.
people still do, in terms of advertising, still by and large do buy a lot of television ads and that type of thing. Traditional advertisers still gravitate toward that. But guess what? As the audience skews younger, and as the people that are the target audience that have money don't go to traditional television, neither will they.
I'm telling you, history
differently.
Yeah, you can look at history. And I love to look at history and talk about history. You can see the history of other generations where the wave of change changed everything. The 60s, hello, people, whatever happened in the 60s, the stuff that happened, and they were like, oh, at the time, it changed everything. That was the younger generation. So the same thing here. The younger generation is changing the way media is being consumed. And you can stand there and let the typhoon or the wave come over and destroy you, or you can say, hey, let me get with the program. And they're not doing that, and get upset. Well, why are these creators here at the DNC? They're not real journalists. It doesn't that doesn't matter, because the people that you're reaching, you reach the older audience who have a TV. Gen Z got a phone. That's all they care about. So if it ain't on the phone, they're not watching it. So, and media is all about eyeballs, right? Because that's how you get exactly the money. How you get the money? That's where the money comes from. So I'm just saying, poo-poo YouTube at your peril. YouTube is going to be the biggest thing ever. Bigger than Netflix, bigger than all of these streaming. It's going to be YouTube.
Absolutely, because they've spent decades. No, I shouldn't say decades. It's only been, well, no, at this point, it's been almost two decades.
Yeah.
It's been almost 2 decades. Yeah. 2000,
2 years.
2006. So yeah, it's been almost 2 decades at this point. Okay, so they've spent all that time cultivating an audience, slowly but surely. User-generated content. This is what they've been doing.
And see, here's the key. It's real easy to get started. You have a phone. That and a story. You don't need you don't need a fancy boom mic. You don't need it. You do to make it look good. But I mean, to get started, because that's what you want to do. You want to start.
Start where you are.
Yes, start where you are. Zero. Build it up. Then you get the lights. Then you get the this. But people want to start out with that because they think that is the secret sauce. Not the secret sauce. It's you telling your story in an authentic way. Shannon Sharp, hello. So Stephen A. Smith, you will never be Shannon Sharp. And he's a conversation. I don't call him a journalist. I was like, why are you getting mad at that man? He's not a journalist. He's a conversationalist. And he's having a conversation. And I think I saw a little clip of the Tyrese one where he was mad because he wasn't on the couch. Because I hadn't even watched his yet. But he was like, oh man, I wanted to be on the couch with the fireplace and the leathers and the all Shannon does is laugh, which trips me out. Anytime they say anything, he just laughs.
Absolutely. You don't want to put out your thoughts on that.
That's him. And that's a southern part. That's a southern thing. Instead of I'm gonna be nice, bless your heart. I'm not going to say what I'm laugh or bless your heart. Or, oh, you're so cute. Or that's how it's done.
Because New Yorkers would have shaved the top of your head.
Yes, New Yorkers give it back. Southerners go, oh, it's in here. And they go, oh, yeah. And then Shannon laughs a lot. And I'm like, because he's like, let me laugh instead of saying blah, 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 because I'm a conversationalist. I'm going to let the person talk. He's not Oprah. Not Oprah.
No.
Shannon Sharp. So.
Absolutely.
So there you go. I love it.
I like the fact that he lets people finish the sentence. Unlike journalists.
I'm looking at. I'm laughing at first.
He does.
And it's not a ho ho ho. It's a he. Like a he. And it kicks. I'm just like Sharp is a bartender. Yes, a
That's exactly
bartender.
it. That's why he
Yes.
feels comfortable because I mean the whole concept of the stereotypical somebody's in a bar and the bartender is like the psychologist where you tell
Yes.
that's what it feels
Mm-hmm.
like. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
feels like. And it just happens to be great that this is my own brand of spirits. Cognac, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love how he put the commercials in for his liquor line and the cigars.
and
And he
here's the
said they sold
thing.
out. Mm-hmm.
He's starting to also get, and I know this is off the trajectory a little bit, but it's still related. He's starting to also get other sponsorship now because
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't remember what in that episode, what
Yes.
commercial it was for pet food.
Yes.
Yes, because he has apparently has a Pomeranian. So
Yes. But see, how can Shannon, let's just a little bit. How can Shannon Sharp get all these sponsorship deals, pet foods and this and that? Because he's not controversial. He's not mean. The Southern laugh and kicking is fun. Ha ha ha. Those are things that brands want to be a part of.
yeah,
Not the Stephen A. Smith controversial getting people mad. Even though you can say what you want to say, just realize saying what you want to say on YouTube puts you in the Disney camp or the not Disney camp. Disney camp, I mean,
absolutely.
family friendly, the more money is over here versus I'm a curse and I'm gonna do. Then you're not going to be in the Disney camp, which means you get less money.
I'm also going to put this out there. And because I mean, I really do like Shannon Sharp. Again, he's not a journalist. I think sometimes are there ways that he could ask things better? Yes, absolutely. But I think that the shine is on the guest and he's just kind of leading the conversation.
Right.
So, and lets the guest talk. So, but there's more of a tenant, especially with advertisers warming up to, first of all, they want to be where things are popular. Second of all, it's popular, but it's controversial, but not really, right? He laughs and kicks his feet, and I'm not trying to say this in a mean way, but he's the jolly Negro. People love a jolly Negro, okay?
But see, that's him. That's
and that's him. That's why I'm not trying to say it in a mean way, but the Stephen A. Smith brand of Negro is not going to fly with some. You understand what I'm trying to say?
No, I know what you're saying.
We shouldn't have to say this because it doesn't matter because we're not monolithic. We come in all types of things. But again, let's be clear of where we live and how comfortable people are. People are comfortable more with one type of us than another type of us. So that also plays into it. I'll say that.
But see, that's another thing about him. He's going to be him. He's not going to be the social justice warrior. That's not, if you're looking for that, there's another channel. If you don't like Shannon Sharp, there's another channel. So he's over here in his lane, good for him. And it's not your cup of tea. That's fine. That's fine. There's other things to watch. That's what I mean. Like we were talking about with Apple versus there's other things. There's other brands. There's other phones. You can't get mad because you guys didn't. No, people like what they like, and this is popular. So let it be popular. And if you have, then you go over there to the other lane and find what you want because there's going to be content for everybody. Stephen A. Smith is a noise maker.
He does make a lot of noise. I think he's also brilliant. I think he has a lot of, but he makes a lot of noise.
Did you put up the comment about being ashy? Because I saw that clip. He did. He was commenting about being ashy. Again, Shannon Sharp, instead of he just laughed and kicked his feet. He didn't say
he's like, well, I'm ashy all the way to the bank, fool.
Thank you. Shannon Sharp is laughing because them YouTube checks and is coming in. So he laughed. Anybody else would have gotten mad at the ash, because that's like, well, you mean I'm ash? You don't give it back. He just laughed and said nothing and said, okay, and moved the conversation on. He does that. He's good at that. I've seen that a lot. If the guest starts talking and they kind of spiral out, he will ask a different question. He will bring it back in like that. I've seen him do it a lot. But
yeah.
He's good. He's good. Not a journalist. He's not your cup of tea. What work is working?
So.
Well, Fred said that he worked with him at the Philly Inquirer. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
And see, there's a brand of people that like Stephen A. Smith's brand of talk, and that's good.
I think there is room in the space for all types.
Yes.
He just can't come in and do a Club Shay Shay. That's it. You
No.
have to understand your lane, know where your strengths are,
Yes.
and
Know
go
your
with
lane. Know your lane. That's
But-
like real quick. Just when Gary Vee started to be popular, I saw all of these people coming out trying to do that style. I'm like, well, that's not you.
That's
You're not
not you.
Jersey.
It's not
You're
authentic.
not Jersey brash. Tell it like it is. So don't do that. You do you. Whatever if you're soft spoken or you don't want to be on camera. There's a myriad of ways of doing this, guys. That's what I like. YouTube is there. It's a tool. Pick it up. Use it.
So he says Stephen A. Smith was a noisemaker back when they worked together, and that he's a sports columnist, not a journalist. So I guess the line is very fine between those types of things. Are you saying that he's not a trained journalist?
Well, I think columnist in the sense of opinionated.
He has
how the New York Times has opinion pieces.
Right?
These are not right, and these are not the opinions of the New York Times. But here's a piece from a person. I think maybe he's saying that. But Fred, you put in the comments what you mean. I was, don't let me try to figure it out. But that's what I'm thinking. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me put this up. Yeah, Stuart Scott.
Who is Stuart Scott?
Scott was great. He was ESPN journalist.
Journalist. He was a host on ESPN for a long time.
And he passed. He got cancer and passed.
I remember. Okay.
Remember him?
I do.
His name was cooler than the other side of the opposite side.
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah. And he got they gave him the Jimmy V Award before he passed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
cooler than the other side of the pillow. I remember.
Yes, that was it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said he had journalistic training, but dove into opinion.
See, I'm not a big ESPN watcher, but I know these things because I pay attention to social media, YouTube, or whatever. So that's what I was like, I know what that is, even though I didn't watch his show. I know who he was. So.
Right, exactly. I remember Stuart Scott.
Yeah,
I think I talked about it actually on Mediascope, if I'm not mistaken.
You probably did.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Fred said he met Scott at the Unity event.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so that's what's happening. Risa Tisa, we got on that, and obviously there was a trajectory, but Risa Tisa is getting her series is being made into a series.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That should be good.
Absolutely. It should be good. And I will let you know when it will. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So let's see. Oh, and this is interesting. I'm reading now. So she went to Kennesaw State University, which is in Georgia. And for some reason, I thought she went to FAMU. Anyway, so she got a degree in criminal justice before studying international law and counterterrorism in The Hague, and now she's in Atlanta. So she's quite well educated. Okay. All right. Let's do this. I have one more story because we've already gone. We've gone on a whole trajectory with this. So I'm just going to talk about one more thing. Let's see. Let's do this. Squid Game is ending. However, there's a rumor that Squid Game will be made into a US spinoff for Netflix. It's going to be expanding, apparently, into a title called Squid Game America. I just had to let you take that in. In. Yes, Squid Game America. So, renowned filmmaker David Fincher is currently under a multi-year contract with Netflix, and he's supposed to be the one apparently or allegedly directing and producing the series. But Netflix hasn't officially announced the project. But reports are indicating that this show will be an original story and not a remake of the South Korean hit. So whenever people do those types of things, if it's not a reboot or a sequel, why are you doing it under the Squid Game? Why not just make it a whole new original series based around that concept? So Fred says, "Oh, nice, Squid Game America. I didn't watch Squid Game anyway." Yeah, I didn't. I'm not wanting to see people, killed and dragged off of court because they lost the game. I will say it's a brilliant concept. It is, which can be basically likened to other things societally and societal problems, but I didn't want to watch it. But it was one of the most popularly streamed shows on Netflix.
Because somebody had, I believe it's the gall factor. Somebody had the gall to put this out on TV. Let me watch. I think that was the take. You know what I mean? What? Killing people if they don't make it off the okay. So it gained popularity, but now it's like, okay, we've seen it, we're done.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. I think the thing with the story is like I'm not wanting to watch the series at all, but the premise of the fact of people that are in debt are so desperate that they will make, and although they didn't agree to this probably, but they're so desperate that they will agree to anything to get out of debt. Especially when you look at the Korean one, there's shame in debt. There's shame in those types of things, and you're trying to do it. So there's a level of desperation, and the message there is like sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures.
Okay.
The thing is, the game's being played on the other side that you are not aware of. I mean, we all fall into this. Look at the fact of, and you are in real estate. Remember in 2008, the housing bubble that burst, and that was because of all of these bad loan products that were given out. People I remember at the time I was looking to like get a condo, and the person was like, "Oh, well, we could just do stated income." I said, "What's that?" "Well, you could just say what you what." So I could say I make $1 million a year and I could get, that's crazy. So, this whole keeping up with the Joneses, getting into debt, and then doing anything to get out of debt because it is a huge, heavy burden. So I can see where that kind of story would be attractive for people, but I'm not wanting to see people killed because you lost the game.
Right. This also reminds me, doing a remake, BBC seems to, or programming coming from the UK morphing into the United States works better. The US seems to do better with it, like Ghosts. Ghosts for the US is way better than Ghosts for UK. Just saying.
Yeah, there's a different interpretation.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. The Ghost in the UK is better, or the Ghost in the US?
No, Ghost US is better than Ghost.
Yes, I agree, because I tried to watch the UK one, and I was like, I didn't make it through the first episode. I was like, no, I'm out. Huh?
And it's the same way with The Office. I was like, okay, I'll watch.
I
enjoy the UK Office, the original one with Ricky Gervais. I mean, it was
okay. That's Ricky Gervais, but see, the Ghost, for some reason I could not, and I love UK shows. This one, I was like, no, I'm out. And because the Ghost US one is fun, there's fun to it. Each little character, and then you're finding out about the characters. But the UK one is like, it didn't connect with me. It just, I don't know what it is. So yes, the US one is
way better. Real hard to do the Ghost from the UK. Fred said, "Have you seen Law and Order in UK?"
Really?
This is Susan. Apparently, it don't work.
Well, because this is the most crime-ridden place on earth. Of course, any police show, law show is going to work here because there's an abundance of crime. But then when you go other places, it doesn't mean there's no crime, but there's way less crime in the UK than there is here. There's nothing to talk about.
Right.
Right.
And then it's set in New York, so
right. So, yeah.
But I will say, I have seen some UK crime shows with police in the UK, and they've been great. I can't remember the one that I watched, but it was great. Was it MI6?
Oh, MI16.
MI6, and there was another one where the local cops is going around solving the crimes. I cannot remember. It's been a while, but they have some great shows.
They do.
Right. And okay, and just to keep it real, Father Brown, I'm like, how many people died in this one little village?
No, I know. I'm like, isn't the whole village gone? At this point,
everybody's like, had another murder. Is there anybody left?
No, exactly. No, it's hilarious. Definitely, the UK has a different approach to things than we do.
Yes, but the ghost, because that's why I said, oh, there's a UK. I said it's gonna be great, and I went over and I was like, I can't even get through the first episode. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yes, Fred. Doc Martin is my favorite. All 20 people that live in that village, and something is always happening.
Right. And it's like a little soap opera, but it's kind of funny, and it's very lighthearted and stuff. So, Doc Martin is,
I think because the UK, it's because the small towns, small villages or whatever, it's all quirkiness. You know what I mean? No, like there's a UK quirky thing to it.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
Like a madness.
It's just hitting me now. They never talk about it, but I'm convinced that Doc Martin is on the autism spectrum.
Really? I think he is too. Yes, because he don't smile, he don't laugh. He don't.
Okay, where is this show? Because I want to watch it. Where can I find it?
PBS has it running, and then
also is on Pluto. There's a whole there's a British drama channel.
Pluto TV, where you don't have to. You ain't got to subscribe.
Okay, I'm gonna find it somewhere. So
Fred was my favorite too. Yes, I love
that one
with Lenny Henry.
Yes, I have to watch that.
And one of my favorites.
I have BritBox, and I refuse to buy Acorn and have two of them. But I think I'm gonna go to Pluto and just except for I need Death in Paradise to come back.
It's something quirky about it, because I was thinking about like movies like Kinky Boots. In the Full Monty, it's just something about over there when it's in a small village and the quirky people and it's madness, but everybody's okay with how it is.
Listen, I watch
something.
Most cities, if you have a PBS, have like a British slate that comes on at a certain time. So for us here in South Florida, it's Saturday nights. So I'm watching Are You Being Served? Then Keeping Up Appearances. Then as time goes by, there's another one like right before that. The one where they were the shopkeepers. I can't remember that. I can't remember. They own a shop and they all live in a small village. Nobody lives in London.
Yeah, nobody's in the city. They're all in the little villages.
These small villages.
The rector.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and the thing is, like, we grew up watching British television because, as you know, before my mother moved to this country, she lived in England. So we will watch, which probably was not appropriate for kids, but we will watch Benny Hill. And my mother would just laugh. And so we found it funny too. But we watched a lot of British TV because of that.
Yeah, there's something about the UK TV media that is just it's quirky.
It does have a lot of British channels as well. You're right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know about it being a bunch of small islands. I just well, wouldn't that be like Ireland and Scotland and all of that?
Well, for Ireland is not part of the UK.
Right. Not any longer, right?
Right.
And
Yeah, all of this
what about
island.
Scotland?
It's just Scotland, Wales, and England.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it used to be a lot more of the world, and everybody said, "Oh no,
Yeah,
we're
the
out."
British Empire used to be bigger than what it was. What it is
Diabolical fool.
today.
Anyway,
Yes, let's not talk about the
you
colonial.
you know, if you get me started on colonialism,
That's what I'm saying. Let's not talk about. We'll be here all day talking about
Mm.
colonialism. So no.
Yes, but I do like the broadcast, the little murder mysteries and stuff like that. And we want, what was the dude? One of the, I don't know why. I read that in Death in Paradise, right? None of the people, the actors, wanted to stay there because you're shooting for 6 months there. And
Wow.
they all wanted to get back to England or something. I was like, what is wrong with you people? But okay.
I'm like, you want to get back to England, to your small village, if you like.
Okay, but you're on a beach in the Caribbean, but you want to go back to okay. And,
Which, by
that's
the
why,
way, they colonized in the first place. But I'll be quiet.
See, we're waking it up. We're waking it up. Let's
right.
not go there.
So, and they keep changing inspectors. And then me and Terry was talking about it. How come everybody, if we have the commissioner there, why do we have to keep getting a detective from England to come to the island?
See, that's a whole other thing. There's the now there are the realities when you look at police departments and things in these different countries, these different island countries, of the effectiveness of things. But then there's also the stereotypical thought process that these people are not capable of taking care of their own things. So yeah, because to me it never made sense. I just watched, but I'm like, is he better than anybody else? He's a little bit bumbling too. So
Bumbling.
Right. So I was like, okay, can we get back to the other? Okay.
Oh, one other thing. Have you all watched, since we're talking about these type of crime dramas, etc.? Have you all watched Lupin on
Netflix?
No.
It's on my watch
It is
list.
excellent. Please watch it. It is
I will.
excellent. If you and again, it's subtitled because it's in French. So actually, is it subtitled? And then
I don't know.
it's not English.
Is this one?
It's
I hate when it's dubbed. I like subtitles.
I'm trying to remember. Was it dubbed or English subtitled?
I like the subtitles.
I'll read it before I have to watch.
Yeah,
I'd rather read it.
But check it out. It is really, really good. I can't wait for the next season to come back. I binge watched like everything. I'm like, this is so good. So good. So if you like those types of crime dramas per se, or I would say this is more of a action adventure type thing. And so they're all the memes that got me like on TikTok. I will say he has the most ridiculous outfits. I'm sure he made a deal with Tyler Perry in terms of the disguises and the wigs because they are awful. I'm like, listen, and this the actor is Senegalese. He's beautiful, but he's Senegalese, so he has very Senegalese features. I'm like, you need to tell me, you in this stupid wig, you didn't realize that was him? They always pass him. They're like, where is he? Where? I'm like, he's right there in that bad wig, still looking like the Senegalese person he is. And I
have this show on my watch list, like Fran said, it's on my list. It was already there. I have to watch it.
So watch it. That's for all of you out there too. If you have not, please watch Lupin. It is really, really good.
Fred says in video, I watched what they do in the UK TV media trends and copy them because it will soon kick in over here.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that it's interesting to take a script or a show and see how can we make this translate to our audiences, because our audiences are vastly different. So I think that's okay. to do that. It's when we lack creativity to come up with anything else that it's like, okay, now.
Yeah.
But that's what I have for you today. Since we took so much time with those, we'll just go with those two stories.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. You can catch TJ on Tuesday, coming back in with Marketing Talks on Tuesday. And Dr. Tachi will be back. Well, you can catch her on and her network over there on IndieSoupMedia.tv and get back in there and catch up with what she's got going on with Pop Gumbo and some other things happening. And then next Friday, we'll be back again with more media, social media, tech, and things of that nature to round out your week. If you have not been a part of the BizChicks community, you can join by simply going to biz at 33777, or you can just go to bizchicks.net. However you got here, we want to thank you for tuning in today, live and on the replay. Fred, thank you for coming in. We had Carlos and Mark. Check out Mark Ward at Ask Mark Ward. Carlos has got some things going on. We just want to say thank you. Enjoy your weekend, and we will be back next week to help you take the hassle out of your hustle so that you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. See you next time.
Bye.